Welcome aboard, everybody. Here we are. Welcome to Leaps and Bounties, the 7C second edition actual play presented by Rook and Rasp. We are using the second edition published by Chaosium, as I mentioned. And we are at chapter 11 of book 2, entitled The Wicked Table. So before I get too into a summary and our start, let's go ahead and introduce yourselves, myself as well. I'm Danny. I'm the storyteller, and I voice everyone else that these four lovely people do not voice. So got a little personality going on up here. A lot of them at the same time. But let's go ahead and introduce. Let's start with Rue this time.
Hello, my name is Rue, and I play Ace McYanson, the XO of the Belladonna, and our party's gunslinger with a hot head. She's working on it. Guys. Patience, please.
It takes a lot to undo those, It takes a lot to unravel all that.
Anger is hard to,
It makes you old, as Spanish Jackie says. Ages you. Ace is actually like 16, but it's just all the anger.
16 going on 40.
Oh.
Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael. I play Andreas Carraris, the captain of the Belladonna, and have myself a friend that this side. Wow, yeah. I don't know, they're always somewhere.
Mhm.
Who wants to give lots of bad advice.
Bad advice. Look, it's perfectly reasonable advice. It really is.
It's just dangerous.
It's spicy advice.
It's very spicy advice.
Spicy.
Eat at your own risk.
It has the "hey y'all watch this" vibe advice.
Fuck around, find out.
Ala, speaking of fucking around and finding out.
Hi.
Her
I'm
character
Ala.
does a lot of that, actually.
Yes.
Well,
it's getting better because Ninette Prévert of Montaigne, who I play, the purser of the Belladonna and resident drama maker, I suppose, who has taken some advice and is now perfectly normal and a mundane human being. Everything's fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And finally, John.
Hi. You may know me as Michael Bain, and you might have seen me in many different films over the years, but no, joking. I'm John, and I have lost my voice earlier today, but it's coming back. So patience. Anyway, but I played Gianni Messina, and I will not be doing my accent tonight. So just tossing that
No
out there.
one talk to him.
Mhm.
Let him look.
I will
It's just
steer
all
and glower.
inside. Yeah.
Let me
He's
just
doing
get-
that birdcage thing. It's like you're doing Meryl Streep. You're doing Benedict Cumberbatch, but it's here. Inside.
I just get my eye candy tonight. Just let John be there and look good. That's all.
All right.
Not like
Excellent.
that. Okay, that ruined it. Sorry.
All right. So last time we met our intrepid heroes. We I'll include myself in that. What the heck? I play the allies too. So, whatever. I'm involved. They, knew that Villanova was in town somehow, had gotten there, probably by a certain Porte mage, and managed to get there. They do that sort of thing. And what is he doing here? And why, and then they had a meeting where it was discovered that Villanova actually went ahead of a meeting with all of them and all of that. And so they were vastly debating what they should do and what the plans were going to be for that. Repairs are going apace on the ship. And So that's going pretty well. They have, at this point, they have like maybe one more day worth of repairs to finish it up. From, as fast and as much money as they're shelling out to get it done as fast as possible. Um, and all of that. Let's see what else happened. Oh, Ace gave Nanette a gun that they had a discussion about. That was cute. And how could I forget the big
absolutely
thing
was
that
not cute.
that was cute? No, it was cute.
There was a lot to unpack there, and it wasn't
Yeah,
just a
and
gun.
yeah, and let's not forget the big thing that kind of happened at the beginning, where Gianni was able to, with other assistants, um, cut Nanette off from the place between places, in between. And now she is dealing with life bereft of that ability that she had. I didn't really use much until she left Charu's, if at all. In fact, didn't like it at all, and then was forced by circumstances. And then it escalated quickly. I feel like she was not down with the Porte, but then all of a sudden it was like she was doing Porte left and right and making deals and all of this other stuff. It was just like once she got on that slope, it was just
There it was a sheer incline. There wasn't even like a slide. It was
Desperation forced it, and since then it's been
something.
once you
Yeah.
taste absolute power, it just
Yeah.
you go wild with it.
Legitimately, if it'd been Sandaris, she would have been executed hardcore.
Yeah. So
I mean,
that
great.
happened. They have a new Porte mage, Vivienne, uh, who had a very interesting introduction to the ship. Like, what
We're
the
gonna make it
heck
up
is
to
going
her.
on? What else? Gosh,
I talked to my
Yeah.
brother.
yes, that's right.
We
Talk to
played
your
mop
brother.
charades.
And you
Mop
have to remember
charades.
to check a map when you get a chance.
I do. Yeah, I need to check a
Yeah.
map and pinpoint where we are.
Yeah, because now you have some indication of where the ship might be, and that could be useful information for sure. Oh, and in that conversation, you found out that Kaya has some interesting scars and stuff on his hands and arms and things. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I feel like if Silent Death was at this meeting, things shit would be all over.
Yeah, things would be a little different. Yeah.
There would be blood, yes. Mostly ours, but this is fine.
All right. And so um we ended where they have gone back to the Silver Plate for brunch. And they have dressed and weaponized or not weaponized as they saw fit the situation. Some do, some not. They got there, realized that the private back room, because this place is so upscale, it's used often by businesses and other characters to conduct private business. They do have a very soundproofed, old-fashioned soundproof room to help from conversations being overheard. This also has no windows that could be seen initially to spy on anybody and what might be going on in this room. This room is usually used for diplomats, ambassadors, politicians, and unsavory characters if they have enough money and they're classy criminals or whatever. Classy. All of that. And they have noted that there were a few people that were eating alone as well at
Very
this
large,
place.
burly people.
That was
Different
not the
kinds of
description.
people. No.
But I do have a question for the solo diners, the parties of one, if you will.
Sure. Well, let me get the book and get into the quote and everything, and then we'll go ahead and start. I was just kind of bringing us up to speed, and then I'll let you guys do whatever you want to do before you go into the room. So once again, we have our book, and dark with by Leaps and Bounties embossed on it, and book 2 on the side. We have our 4 ovals in the corners as decoration. One looks like a bunch of threads crisscrossing in it. The other is a silhouette, much like the one that Michael has behind him right now. The third is kind of a half ship wheel compass, and the fourth is some blood dropping from it. Has some blood dropping from the you know. I mean, it did used to represent Porte, but now it just represents blood in her ledger at this point because she
Oh,
can't
the
do
murder.
Porte. The murder. So, we flip through the other chapters. We're getting towards the end of this book. We know that there are only maybe 3 chapters left. And we see chapter 11, The Wicked Table. And below it is a quote. The belief in a supernatural source of evil is not necessary. Men alone are quite capable of every wickedness. Joseph Conrad. And the picture is looking into the room, and we see what has to be Giovanni Villanova in the middle. And of course, Olivier Dubois on one side. And another man on the other side, who I had mentioned last time, looks like Villanova characteristics. You know, skin tone, eyes, you know, similar family resemblance there. All right, so we fade in. We can now smell the food of the silver plate, which all of us can enjoy now.
Y'all, I'm so excited to eat this brunch.
She's like,
It's
I don't
probably
care if we
poison,
die at the
but I
end,
don't
as long
care.
as I get to eat something. Yeah, and we see the color of the room. It does have silver accents and things like that. This table, kind of in the middle of the room, and it does have like sideboards where people can bring in serving things and put them on the sides and stuff like that, so they can serve from inside the room. All right, so this is what you see. The door is open. You're being shown in by the server, or you know, the server's opening. You know, one of the servers or hosts is opening the door for you. You see this table in this room with the 3 sitting at the table facing the door. What would we like to do? Let's start with Michael, and I'll go around and have everybody, like, if they want to do anything, and of course you can always pass and just say, nope, I'm ready, if you would like. But let's start with Michael. What is Andreas going to do to prepare? From what I remember, he's in front. He's the captain, and everyone is kind of around behind him.
Prepare to enter the room, or just
Whatever you want to do. I mean, turn
Um,
tail and run out of the restaurant if you want to. I mean, I'll run that if you want to do that. But
I'm-
whatever you would like to do before we start this conversation.
Andreas will confidently enter the room, with hopefully everyone still in tow. Or you know what? There are worse ways to have a character taken out. I respect
Turn-
that if you all planned that.
No. No.
So no, he'll confidently walk in. He'll step up to whatever seat is directly across from Giovanni Villanova, and he will sit down.
Okay, excellent. All right, and what about? Let's go with Ace. We'll do it around this way. So is Ace gonna?
So, Ace, as a reminder, is almost entirely unarmed. She does have the knife back from Gianni at this point, but that is it. So she is tucked it in its special sheath, and it is tied to her belt on her hip. Before we get into the room, okay, let me ask my question now. My out of character kind of
Sure.
scene setting
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
For the parties of one, are they outside the private room, or are they also in the private room?
Outside.
They're outside,
On the way
so they're
into the room.
on the way in. So
You're
we see
in
them.
the general restaurant. Yeah. You're kind of know. You're like, wow, there's a lot of single lunchers around here.
Sure,
You're like,
sure. Yeah. Ace does pick up on that. I'm sure. I would assume her passive perception is pretty pretty
Yep. They're
keen.
definitely like,
but
those look like people ready for action.
yeah, and I'm gonna just very quietly, with keeping my eyes on those single folk nearby, most near, and I will ask Gianni one more time. Are you absolutely sure this is what you want?
I think we're here already. And honestly, things have taken an interesting turn that I'm curious even more now.
And Ace will also enter, but instead of sitting immediately, she will wait. And she will wait to sit with the rest of the party.
Okay. Excellent. Let's go with John then. What does Gianni do? I'm gonna go around counterclockwise from what I'm looking at here.
Strangely enough, as we enter the room, do they stand up?
Oh, when you all enter the room?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They would. Yeah, when they see you entering, they would stand up.
I nod to them actually, and I will pull out a chair each for Nanette and for Ace.
All right.
So, keeping up noble appearances.
And Nanette.
Well, unlike Ace, Nanette has come completely weaponized. She has stashed several firearms and knives in her pannier. Or, panier, I believe it's pronounced. But, and she's dressed, like, with a weapon of massive seduction. Like, she has been surrounded by ladies with impeccable taste and skill, and between getting her legs sewed up, they have altered some local clothes to be distracting if need be. And perhaps the only other alteration is the ring that she wears previously, usually on her finger, given to her by one Monsieur Dubois many moons ago, now hangs on a chain around her neck rather than on her hand. It's a statement. Everything she's going to do is very, very much a statement. And she sweeps into the room, like, because she's wearing a gown. It's not quite a Montaigne gown. It's a Commonwealth gown, but they've still got big skirts. She sweeps into the room, and though she's got a cane, she carries herself fairly lightly, or as lightly as she can act, given everything. Oh, this is fantastic. I don't believe we've met. I think introductions are in order. This is our captain of the Belladonna, Captain Karras, and his first mate, the former captain of the Fortuna, and now the first mate of the Belladonna, Mademoiselle Ace McCanson, Gianni Messina, mon coeur. And she takes kind of Gianni's hand and kind of leads him to a chair next to her, but as far away from kind of the bad guys as possible. And I am, of course, Ninette Primevère, with a flourishing curtsy, despite a cane for support. Just making the cane work.
Cool. So Sinette sweeps in, introduces everybody. Gianni is going to pull out chairs and stuff. All right. Cool. I will say, okay, two things. First is everybody take a hero point from last time. So you should have 2 right about now. And secondarily, after that, I'm going to be a very generous, benevolent, and kind GM.
We're so
and
screwed.
remind you and give you an opportunity that if you have anything activated by a hero point, such as a gift or an advantage or anything like that that you would use, this would probably be the time for do it. Something that lasts a scene or anything like that. I know several of you have some that might be useful.
I will go ahead and kick off. I'm just like you.
Ah, right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
As the first words exit Giovanni Villanova's mouth, I kick off Andreas's virtue, the prophet, and he now
Mhm.
knows when anybody in the room lies.
All righty then. All right. Cool.
I was gonna save joie de vivre for when I had something pithy to say, but I think forcing introductions out of basically everyone we already know is suitably catty.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
All right.
So
Cool.
I will spend a hero point for that.
Excellent.
and
Excellent.
I will spend mine because Gianni did change my virtue, I believe, to I don't remember what it was now, but it was the
Just
one that allows me to. I cannot spend any more hero points, but you cannot spend any danger points
Right.
for a
Right.
scene.
Yeah.
Do you want to activate
So-
your thing to grant us bonus hero points before you do that?
Because you swapped my virtue, right? Or did you swap my hubris?
virtue.
Yeah, he swapped my virtue. I would have loved to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Okay, cool. All right. So, yeah. So Nanette has swept in, made some introductions. Gianni has pulled out chairs for the ladies. And okay, so what I'm picturing is we've got Andreas in the middle. And then we probably have Nanette on one side and Ace on the other side of Andreas, and then Gianni kind of on the end, one of the ends.
Well, I would like to put Gianni sort of closer to Andreas as possible. Basically,
Okay.
as far away from Villanova and really just Dubois' reach as possible.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right, cool.
And,
Okay.
and I do want to highlight, you did use a pet name with Gianni, did you not?
I did.
As part of your ruse. Okay.
Yeah, Monka.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let them
He's my
decide what that
precious
means,
baby
I
boy.
guess. Yeah, let them decide what that means. Let them ponder that while they're whatever over there. I get it. Awesome. All right, cool. So, Giovanni Villanova, he's older, very much an older man, and looks very much like a clean cut John Turturro. I'm thinking, you know, has that kind of chiseled look that can kind of meld into both like looking kind or looking mean at the same time. It's kind of like there. And then of course Dubois looks like a bearded Chris Evans, as we determined in season one. And the other I don't really have a celebrity person in mind for this character, but they do have similar eyes, similar hair color, similar face shape. Looks younger than Giovanni Villanova himself. They're dressed very nicely. It's not like what you would picture at like a ball, like fully formal, you know, whole deal, but it's nice. It's we are going out to a incredibly fancy restaurant type of dress. So not formal, but high end, expensive looking clothes. You know, jackets, all of that and everything. And as you introduce yourselves, Dubois doesn't really, I mean, he knows you all. He's met you all before. So he's just kind of like, and he does raise his eyebrows at a couple of these introductions, Captain of the Belladonna and EXO and the Monker and everything like that. He's just kind of taking it in, but it's not like he's surprised. He knows all of you. The younger man, the younger Villanova looking man, kind of nods at everybody, and it's a very intense gaze. Like he's sizing everybody up, kind of looking at them, judging them, taking, stock of everyone. And Giovanni Villanova in the middle is very stone faced. Just, it's hard to read. It's very, he doesn't really nod, he doesn't really move. You see his eyes go to each person as they're introduced, but that's about it. All right. So, after Nanette has made introductions, Dubois takes over and he says, this is, of course, Mr. Giovanni Villanova, and this is Matteo Villanova. And then he's like, shall we sit? And so far, Giovanni Villanova has not said anything. And after you all have sat down, they were still standing, and he looks at the others. He's like, shall we sit? So then they sit down after you all have seated yourselves, have introduced yourselves and been seated. And now we're looking across the table. And he is, they're all kind of watching you. Dubois is sort of casual as he would be. He's got, just kind of watching everybody with kind of a smirk on his face. Their man's still intense. Giovanni's still blank. But they have not said anything yet. Let's take a minute just watching. About a minute does go by. So it's a bit long. He's kind of just sitting there and you're kind of just waiting and watching. So I will leave it up to y'all if you're going to wait this out or if you're going to say something or do something or whatever, however strategy you want to take. But you're sitting there and a minute has gone by.
Well, if our captain isn't going to kind of start conversation, Nanette's just going to put on like the whitest white girl at brunch act and is like, oh, this is very exciting. I've heard so many things about the morning selection. Do you have any recommendations? I feel like you've been here before. And just hams it up as the social butterfly.
Okay. Are you trying to accomplish anything specific with this in terms of their reaction, or are you just
being completely unfazed by whatever kind of mind games they're playing?
All right, cool. All right. Anyone else? Nanette starts, just, I'm so excited, blah, 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 blah.
He doesn't say anything,
It's
but
partially... Sorry, so like the idea of it is to partially activate her virtue, to kind of negate any fear effects.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah, Ace doesn't say anything, but if there's like an empty water glass on the table, she's gonna like spin it kind of irritatingly on the table.
There are place settings. There are place settings. Food has not been served yet, but there is like light wine and water on the table and like a server and everything like that. So Ace can definitely do that.
I can do that in character. Stop it.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's no servers in here at the moment. So even if you had done that, it's just you four and those three.
Then
at the very second.
I'll probably be like, excuse me, and I'll reach across whoever's next to me to get the pitcher of water. Fill my drink. I'm
hilarious.
Parched. I don't say anything though, except for excuse me, and I'm like, oh, excuse me. I put on my best Avalonian.
The pastries with fruit and cream, absolutely delightful. Every time I came here when I was a kid, I would have to have it.
All right. Awesome.
She was asking
So-
Villanova specifically as a.
She was
refer
looking
off,
at him.
but she was
I mean,
looking
and-
at the opposite end of the table. But I
Yeah.
like Andreas is just like, yeah, the tarts.
Yeah. Okay. So Nanette, go ahead and do for you. This would probably be wits and etiquette.
Well, there isn't
You
really
have
an
etiquette,
etiquette.
It would be. What would it be? What would
Scholarship?
be the same?
Scholarship maybe, or empathy maybe.
It would basically have to do with your knowledge of like how this sort of intrigue works
Scholarship.
from your experience in Montaigne. So yeah, it's probably scholarship.
That's a good one too.
I mean, in Montaigne it's warfare, but you know.
Oh,
You will need you will need three passes for 3 races for this. Passes, races, successes, whatever system I'm playing today. I don't know. Whatever.
It doesn't matter. 3
Doesn't
of the
matter.
things we need.
3 of the things you need.
It is 4 successes and 1 die left over.
Wow, nice. Okay. So with that, you definitely determine this is a feeling you out kind of maneuver on their part, which you may have already guessed, but I'm confirming it. You know, who talks first, you know, who does all of that. It's all very, you know, strategical. I just like that word, strategical.
And that's
So
why
yeah, so you
Nanette's
definitely
filling
got
that
it.
space with Nanette is filling that space with absolutely pithy conversation.
Nice.
And
Um,
I'm literally
Yeah.
sitting there, trying to convey the energy of like chess. Like I'm across the table from them, we're moving pieces, kind of attitude
Uh-huh.
as he sits there. So I'm very silent, but
Mhm.
I want to activate my ability to see the lines.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, as you have described, or imagined, you can barely see Giovanni Villanova when you start looking at these lines, because he is covered almost. It'd be like looking at like a yarn skein, you know, like it's just all wrapped around. You can see bits and pieces, but there's a lot. It would be like a loose spider web, maybe. There are gaps in there, but it's pretty interlocked around him. And he does have that heavy black thread that you had seen before. And had felt before. You also see that there are lines connecting Matteo and Giovanni Villanova. You definitely see like the relationship lines between the 3 of them and yourselves going back and forth. Now, is there anything in particular you're looking for with these lines so I can provide that information, or?
Well, in a way, part of it has been provided. We now definitely know that's Giovanni Villanova because that can't be faked.
Yeah.
I'm looking for lines between me and them.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm trying to keep a straight face while doing all that. So if I need to roll acting or anything, let me know.
Sure. Okay. Well, let me describe what you see, and then we'll have you make a roll to see how well you pull off any reaction, like any non-reaction that you do. So, looking at lines between yourself and these people, you see a line that kind of feels like a your paths will cross type of line. It's not the gold kind of destiny line that you see between you 4, where you know your fates are very entwined, but you do see a gold one, much lighter, going between you and Dubois, and between the other 2 as well. So you can gather from that they do obviously have something because you're here talking with them. So there is obviously a crossing of paths that has a bigger meaning. But you also see relationship lines in terms of, you can kind of tell when people are related in some kind of way. And you definitely see those lines between the two Villanovas. But you also see it between yourself and the two Villanovas. It's kind of hard to tell what that means, but since you know that you're Silent Death's brother, and this is essentially would be your uncle, essentially, that's not exactly surprising. Um, but it's kind of hard to tell how strong that or what nature of that relationship is. But you do have lines in a relationship, like a familial kind of fate bond to the two Villanovas. All right, so now did you want to ask anything else, or do you want to do your role now?
I think I'm good with the role at this point.
Okay, excellent. So, let's see. So yeah, it's gonna be finesse and perform, I guess, probably, because you're trying to, or panache, maybe. Panache seems more, because finesse seems more physical to me, like agility, whereas panache is kind of, yeah,
Panache is a line. Style, baby.
yeah.
And I'm all style.
You will need 3.
No substance. And ooh. Well, this is a lot. This is like my best roll that I do in the game.
Nice.
So that. So I'm at least at 6. So yeah.
All right, excellent. So yeah, you can not only school your face into impassiveness with what you're seeing, but if you want to, with your extra raises, you could also, if you choose, go ahead and exude a kind of whatever aura you're wanting to exude.
Yeah,
Like what impression do you want to give them? Despite what you're feeling, what impression do you want to give them?
Cool, confident villain.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a villain, and I'm consider myself their opponent on a chess table.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
All right. Cool. So like a equal, like a.
He is just like them. They're not so different.
We're not so different.
We're all Villanovas here.
That would be quite the surprise. That would be quite the twist. I don't know if I could manage to pull that off.
Sister cousins.
Sister cousins. Okay, so after about this stuff is going on, the kind of Nanette's over there like da 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 and yada da da da, and he's just like, excuse me, pouring her water over there, and Gianni's over there being like, Al Capone or something, just sitting over there like, and they haven't said anything yet other than Dubois introducing. So after about, like I said, a minute, and then like maybe 10 seconds after, then people start to come in through the doors that you came in. And it's a bunch of servers bringing in platters and things. And they bring them in, set them on the sideboard, and they start serving it out. There's at least 5 or 6 of them. And they come bringing around. There is a wide variety of different countries represented in this menu. So you've got some, you can see, like, just looking at the sideboard, you can see some Avalonian stuff over there. You can see some Montaigne food over there. You can see some Sarmatian Commonwealth delicacies over there. And you definitely see some Castilian and Vodacci, food over there. It's quite a bit for the 7 of you. And the servers start serving out these portions. Initially, they're serving kind of what's supposed to be kind of like a light appetizer kind of thing. So it's fruit and a little bit of pastry, just like on a small plate and stuff like that, put in front of y'all. And as soon as that stuff is done, and the servers kind of retreat to the sides, being unobtrusive as servants should be, and as servers should be in this case. They're kind of on the side by the sideboard, waiting if anybody needs anything or whatever. Go ahead and roll wits and notice, all of you.
Okie dokie.
You will need at least 4 for this one. 4 raises for this.
Individually or as a group?
Individual.
Okay.
Only 3 here. Oh, wait, I gotta reroll. Just a sec.
Exactly 4 with nothing left over.
Nice.
That's what I needed.
Awesome. Okay, so you got 4. You got 4.
What does Joie de Vivre
Andreas,
do
how you
again?
doing over there?
Uh,
Joie de Vivre?
I haven't activated it yet.
Okay,
It's,
cool.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna stash it because I feel like it might be more important when it's bloodier or
Fair enough.
messier. But
Yeah.
for now, it's just.
What are y'all talking about? This is a perfectly pleasant business
Yeah, it's
brunch.
perfectly fine.
What are you expecting? I mean, this is a classy place.
We're just here to
I mean, not
enjoy
that
a
that ever
lovely
stopped y'all
brunch.
before. I'm just saying.
Look, I missed out on dinner last night, and not gonna miss out on breakfast, even if it's
Mhm.
full of poison.
Indeed.
Yeah, what,
Andreas, how many did you get?
3 with 2 left over. So if you'd like to buy any.
Okay. All right. Okay. You might want Ace in on this.
Ace had to
should
step
we-
away.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Drew will
Though
be
I did
back,
have a
but
question before this. Since
Sure.
Andreas was here last night and actually ate, do these
Yeah.
servers look like the staff that Andreas saw last night? And I'm willing to sacrifice my successes in that direction.
Oh, well, hang on. It will all become clear. It'll all become clear because that's actually what you were rolling for.
Oh, cool.
You all were rolling about the servers. I just hadn't said that yet.
if it helps, Nanette did give 4 successes.
Yeah,
and I
it's
suspect
good
Ace will get like
insight.
6 or whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, roll a lot of dice, Rue.
Wits and notice.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. I came back as fast as I could. Wits and notice, so that's 3.
Yeah, you'll need at
4.
least 4 for this.
Is it with my eyeballs?
Yeah, with your eyeballs.
Okay.
Specialize, Rue. Specialize.
Specialize. I have 6 with 1 left over.
All right, cool. Alrighty then. To those of you who got 4, you realize, I mean, Nanette, you've seen servers your whole life. All right, you know how they act, you know how they look, you know what type of aura they give off, and everything like that. These servers in this room are not giving off quite that vibe. It's more of the vibe of like, I'm standing in the corner and I am staring at you, and you can feel the threat like on the back of your head almost. Like you get that instead of the I'm just here to serve and what do you need sort of vibe. They've gone to the sides, but it's more of a now you're surrounded kind of feel. And Gianni, you get the same thing. You recognize these people are not they look like they could definitely handle themselves. They give off the very big vibes of if stuff goes down, they're ready for it. Maybe the server's outfit is just a little too tight around bulging arms or something like that, but you're just kind of like
I'm so cool as a cucumber and unimpressed.
yeah. And like I said, there's 6 of them in the room, 3 on each side, plus the 3 in front of you. And Ace, okay, you definitely see all that. plus, you think you see the bulges of some weapons, or these servers are very happy to see you. One or the other.
Why not both?
I mean,
One in Sarmatia.
Who am I sitting beside?
Probably on the next to Andreas and Gianni. Probably near them.
Okay.
I'd say.
Okay.
With Nanette being on the other side of you.
I'm gonna sip my water casually, and I'll just keep my eye on things. But I'm going to do my best to not look surprised.
Mm-hmm. All right. How do you feel Ace is at doing that? I think it probably requires a roll. Let's see.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Let's do that.
Like a wits convince.
Wits convince. That's probably how she'd do it. Like, I see nothing. I suspect nothing. You're harmless to me. I believe that.
You are harmless to me.
Uh-huh.
Roll 1. Well, let's see here. Y'all, that's not bad. She's learned a lot since her discussion with Silent Death and the Compass that one night. So I got a 10, I've got a 9 and a 3. I've got an 8 and a 6 and a 9 and an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
None
Great.
left over.
Yeah. I mean, that's more than enough. I was going to give you a 3 to pass that. But yeah, Aces, you're just yep.
Even
Cool.
if it looks like I don't even care if they notice me taking note of their weapons. But I'm going to just look at them dead
So
in
is
the
this
eye.
a neutral, like I'm not trying to get them to notice and I don't care? Or is this say I want them to know I know?
No, they know that I know. I want them to know that I know.
You want them to know that you know.
But
All
I'm
right.
I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah, you're just like, nice. You're like,
Yeah, I mean,
mine's bigger.
Ace
like,
is,
mine's bigger.
yeah, Dummy Ace, unarmed, is convincing them that she ain't scared.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
no fear, baby, no fear.
Indeed. So, once the servers had done all that, y'all were scoping things out, and the servers had got around the first course, the little pastry and some fruit, and all of that. Once that's all taken care of, and the servers step to the side, that is when one of them finally speaks. Matteo Villanova, sitting next to Giovanni, says, "Well, I've heard a lot of stories. Pleasure to meet the faces that go with those stories." And he kind of and he's kind of looking at all of you to see if any of you say anything to that. If you don't, he'll continue.
There are things that Ace would say, but I'm really trying to keep her shut up right now.
Hey, he is definitely leaving you room to hang yourselves by your own petards.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I mean,
he's just definitely leaving room for y'all to say something.
Out of character, Ace would be like, "Funny, I've never heard of Mateo, but whatever." But no.
Funny, I've never heard of you.
Ace just sips her water and continues to scan the room.
Okay. So Mateo continues. He kind of, you know, leans forward. He has his water glass in his hand, and it's not like a lean like that. It's more like, he's just there and he's sitting and he kind of just a little bit forward, tiny fraction of a bit forward. And this is more like probably Nanette would recognize it as, I'm drawing you in so you pay attention to me, but I still feel like I have the power in this conversation, because he's not leaning like he's like, hey, it's more like I'm leaning to dominate my power. I'm leaning to press my advantage to show you that I have that control. And a very, very Vodachi move is this. And he says, yes, I've heard quite some interesting things, and I know you all would probably prefer to get right to the point of this meeting, but I can't help but ask, is it true that you all faced a kraken of some kind?
I feel like we'd remember a kraken, Captain.
Oh, it was just a storm that caused the damage.
There was a particularly large squid that the boys fished out.
Yeah,
delicious.
that's right. Ah,
So your tactic is to lie and be like, we have no idea what you're talking about.
We downplay our skills. It was just a particularly large squid, and we enjoyed it.
It wasn't anything. Oh, okay. I see. Like, oh, that thing? Okay. All right. Cool.
Is that what a kraken is?
Mr. Godot did do a fantastic job preparing it.
I see. I myself have never seen such a thing, and I was just curious. You can understand.
I would say do not trust tales so much. After all, there is always more below the surface of the water than just rumors.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, and he just mutters. He's like, all right. Well, then we shall get down to the reason why we are here. I think we are all aware, so there's no pretense at this point, that our purposes are at odds. Would you say you agree?
We would have to know your purpose in order to know whether or not ours was at odds with yours.
All right, go ahead and roll, Andreas. Go ahead and roll. Because I'm assuming, and this is my assumption as the GM, that you are playing off that you have no idea what they're up to, but you do. Is that correct? Or do you not have any idea what he's talking about?
We don't know. Andreas's statement is true in the fact he does not know what Giovanni Villanova's purposes are. He knows he only knows what Silent Death's purposes are.
Okay.
So so Andreas has actually told the absolute truth when it comes to that statement with the people located directly here.
Okay. So you're going through it. Sounded to me like you're going through a little bit of semantics.
Oh, 1000% semantics, but it is the truth.
Okay, all right. So go ahead and do wits and perform. I mean, because you're trying to exude, I assume, the fact, or do you, like Ace, want him to know what he's talking about, but are feigning innocence? Like, do you want him to truly believe you don't know, or do you want it to be like, you and I both know what we're talking about, I'm just not going to acknowledge it? Because those are two very different purposes.
Well, admittedly, knowing they want the Carnival is entirely different from what are they going to do with the carnival?
And yeah, and knowing why, like what his exact purpose is when it comes to the carnival is kind of what he's going for.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but Andreas's goal would be with them in particular to basically prove to them that yes, this is a true statement, that we can't tell you whether or not we're at odds with your exact goals if we don't know them yet.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Ace is probably like, what the fuck is our goals? We know we're at odds with
What are we trying to do?
What are we
I
trying
mean,
to do?
I
Kill
mean,
them.
I was gonna say, do you want individually? Because Andreas knows half
No.
of those.
No. That's
Go
just
ahead and roll.
it's
I
Rue
want
being
to see how
snarky.
this comes off. It's going to be kind of opposed in a way. So I'll
Uh,
see how much he can read, if anything, off Andreas.
Say either performer convinced the roll's the same. Would be 3 successes and 1 left over.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Cool. So you say that with your intention. He's looking at you, and so you don't know how he feels about that, but you feel pretty confident that you pulled off at least some wherewithal, some a sense of authority with that. So that's good. And then I see. Well, since you agreed to this meeting, as promised, we're going to tell you exactly what we are looking for, as promised. And then he looks over at Dubois. And Dubois had been finishing a glass of wine or whatever, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm on." Basically, like that's the look. He's like, "Oh god, okay." And he and then you get a feeling that that's a put on as well. I mean, you've been around him enough to know that like
Nothing about him is real.
It was not caught off guard. Yeah, he probably was not. He's just affecting that for whatever reason. And Olivier Dubois says, the Carnival, as you are aware, has quite the amount of treasure on it and artifacts. And also, the legend goes that there was a fate witch on board this Carnival. Because of that, we have, through our various sources, determined that this fate witch had an extensive diary in which they explored what they could do with their magic and the nature of magic in Thea itself, the abilities that certain people are born with. And also, according to what we have been able to dig through, there were quite some interesting, shall we say, gifts, abilities that are rumored to have been in that book. That is the prize that we are after.
So yeah.
A book.
Mm-hmm. We have reason to believe it was kept in a watertight container, of course. In case such a thing as that happened, he takes another thing of wine. Like he's just casually telling this story, whatever. And yeah, we have reason to believe that it was in a watertight case. With hope, we feel it's worth being able to bring the Carnival up or whatever she might hold and see if that's the truth. If nothing else, all of the treasure is there. If so rumored. And then Dubois takes his wine like, that's my piece of it. And he's just like, starts drinking again. And Mathieu goes, I suppose you're wondering why we would tell you such a thing, or I can imagine that that would be the next question on your mind. The reason is this: there is no need for us to be at cross purposes. You have talents that we have seen, whether you acknowledge them or not. And if we work together, there's no reason that everybody couldn't benefit without loss of life. And then he's going to sit back and sip his water.
And what such form of alliance? How would it be manifested?
Well, that's what we're here to discuss. All right, so you guys are going to wait for them to offer something first?
Ace is going to look down the table because like it's really hard for her not to say anything, and everybody's being very quiet, and it's very frustrating. Like
Yeah.
her friends know that it's like this is frustrated Ace, but she's still putting on the good show of like, yeah, whatever, guys. She probably looks more irritated with her friends than she looks with the people around her.
Mhm.
Why would you need our help out of anyone? You are a merchant. You're a merchant prince. You have ships almost beyond count. We would be but nothing in comparison to what you already have access to.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Though Mr. Messina over there has cautioned not to listen to tall tales or rumors, we've become quite convinced that not all of them are merely rumor or conjecture. We feel you all have abilities that could be useful, first of all. And second of all, we do like to keep things in the family when we can. And he looks over at Gianni. And it doesn't take a lot to know that he's fully expecting this statement to have an impact. He is fully expecting this statement to have an impact.
Oh, Ninette
As
hands
he's
it
just
up.
now
She's
he's
like,
just now he's just looking at Gianni.
Assuming that's the I was said above the table.
Monocle pops out, pearls go flying everywhere. Just
I'm assuming that's the Davis in the background, like completely
Yeah.
hamming it up.
And only you guys can see it. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. The
he's
Davis would be over
behind-
there like giving wet willies to one of the servers.
He's
don't know.
behind the villains putting on this entire show, and we're just trying not to
Bunny
watch
ears.
it. Yeah. Do you respond?
So yeah, he's looking at Gianni. And now
Yes.
Dubois and Giovanni's Villanova's faces also turn to Giovanni. So now all three of them are looking at Gianni.
I do not believe it is the habit of the Villanova family to adopt.
It's not, that's true.
Then
He
you're
lets
perhaps
that hang there.
suggesting marriage?
No.
I was
Come now, you're cleverer than that. Surely you've wondered your origins, haven't you?
You're saying I'm a Villanova.
All right, definitely an acting role for this. You're trying to
Oh,
pass
yeah.
off like you have no idea what he's talking about.
Panache 4, acting 5. Let's do
There we
this.
go.
Don't forget your skill ranks. You can
Mon
re-roll.
cœur, you never mentioned this.
Oh, and
My God,
Let's not forget, I am a virtuoso, so I get a bonus to acting.
Don't forget your tens explode.
Yep.
All right, and this is going to
Yeah.
be kind of a
And
contested.
you can do 15s or 2. So
Yep.
don't.
So that's
Christmas.
that by itself is 2. That's a. I'm looking for a small one. There we go. There's another 2. There's another 2.
Because we're on the same mic box, I get his rasp and like
It
stereo,
really
and it's
does make
very
things for you.
intense in my ears.
I'm at 8 so far.
Oh, good lord.
9, 10.
Wow. Yeah. All
Those
three of
explode-
you sitting there watching Gianni are like, holy shit, did he just learn that? Now? Like, you completely just like, wait a minute. He knew that, right? You know, like that's what y'all are thinking in your head. Like, no, he knew that, right? Right? I didn't hallucinate that, right? He knew
yeah,
that.
yeah, we all blow
I
cover
am the
because we're
greatest
like,
actor. in
Gianni.
all of-
Wait, Gianni, this is
Just
because he
acting all over
Wait.
the
Well,
table.
no, what it does is make your performances better
yeah.
because you are truly like off put. You're like, what the, you know? So it actually, that's the bonus with getting so many is that it
I-
makes y'all's reaction all that much more convincing.
I will mention one thing. Technically, Andreas can't react that way because Andreas knows we're all lying.
Yeah, but I'm
Right.
really impressed. You.
Yeah, no matter how well I'm acting.
Well,
Don't
yes.
fuck this up, Andreas. Don't fuck this up.
Don't ruin this for us.
So what are you imagining Andreas' reaction is
I
then?
imagine Andreas is going to have to actually roll because
Oh, okay, go ahead and
he
roll.
has to. Yeah, because he has to continue with us.
And I will give you 2 extra raises because of Gianni's performance.
Yeah,
He got
I would
like
just-
10.
I was gonna say, just to be honest, like, oh, he's lying. Andreas knows.
You all know he's lying. You
course.
all know he's lying. You all know he knows.
Mon coeur.
4
That line is
raises
such a
in total. with
terrible
one extra.
measure of one's worth.
That sounds like the most passive aggressive shit ever. That's funny.
Welcome to Montaigne.
Okay, yeah, Andres, you do a decent. What is? Okay, so I know Nanette is acting all like, you know, and stuff like that. What about Ace and Andreas? How are you pawning this off? How are you pawning off your surprise or your whatever you're gonna try to pawn off?
Ace just looks uncomfortably constipated, like she normally does in social situations. She's just like, what?
Andreas,
now?
as he's taking his fork and like starting to cut into the pastry, goes,
Mhm.
I thought I had a lot of cousins.
Cute. So he continues. He's still looking. Everyone has their reaction. He's still looking at Gianni, and he says, "Well, yes, that's what I am saying. I'm saying that you're a Villanova, and therefore, considering you obviously have a talent for finding people to aid you in whatever your endeavor is, there's no need that you need to be out there on your own." You could join your ship with ours. We can go, discover the Parnaval, bring it up, and bring the treasure into the family where it belongs.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead. In character or out of character?
In character. This is Ace.
Okay. Okay.
This is stupid. Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh. Why again do you think that we're at odds with you? What do you think we're doing?
Well, as far as our sources go, in the interest of transparency, of course, although I suspect you already know what I'm about to say. But
You'd
as
be
you know,
surprised.
we have been. Ace is like, you'd be surprised at what I don't know. Like, honestly. That's funny. He says, well, you are aware that we have been working with Silent Death to achieve our goals. And we are quite aware you have had some run ins with him. And since he is working for our purposes, and you have been on opposite ends with Silent Death, I can only draw the conclusion that we are at separate odds.
I mean, and I'm looking at my friends. I'm not talking to him anymore.
Uh-huh.
No, but I mean, we only like yeah, he sunk the ship that we were on, and then I had dinner with him.
Yeah. I think I saw him in the crowd at my fight.
We haven't seen him since.
I thought you had parted on amicable terms.
We
That's what I
did. We
remember.
agreed to stay out of each other's way.
Agreed.
So I'm not saying that perhaps we're not, but I wasn't aware of it. But I am only the XO.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
I think
if my sources are correct, and you all seem very, very convinced that this is what's going on, I feel that I should tell you. And please, if I'm wrong, do let me know. But Silent Death has informed us that while he was docked somewhere, after discussing a truce of sorts, a ceasefire with you all, his ship seemed to have befallen some mishaps. And he was quite convincing in relaying that it was your group that did such a thing. And trust me when I say, I don't bring accusation forward until I'm thoroughly convinced that they are most likely true.
I have never laid a hand on his ship. I've never even set foot on his ship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was that the night we were arrested? Yes.
It was.
That was the night we were arrested.
Yeah.
Dealing with other things.
Yeah. Mhm. I don't believe I even exited the Count Evero's manor that until late into the next morning.
I suppose I was on the ship, but it was very briefly.
It
And not in
sounds
any state to cause any property damage.
It sounds like your sources need to be checked.
Why would you believe such rumors?
Why would I believe those?
Yes.
Well, you are a Villanova. These type of things are in your nature.
My
For
nature
one.
might even surprise you.
What'd you say?
Almost under my breath, I think what's in my nature might even surprise you.
Ah, okay. And he says, and besides that, why would I give up any other sources where I may get my information until we come to an accord, of course?
I never said anything about you
Yeah.
giving up your sources. I just said you should probably check your sources because
Well,
were
I
to ask-
wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Gianni here, if I may call you that. He was asking how we were so sure, and I was replying.
I don't want to argue this point because if the accusation could be made publicly, but you know I will never confirm or deny either. So let's move on.
Very well. You're quite correct. The problem before us now, or the discussion before us now, is about our offer of working together.
All you have offered is a seat at a table. You said bringing it back into. Why would that interest me at this moment? Why would that interest my allies?
So, what you're saying is you and your allies have no interest in treasure or valuable artifacts?
At one time, treasure interested me. And I'm looking at Giovanni when I say this. But there comes a point where the acquisition of wealth is only a formality. Agreed?
And you're looking at Giovanni Villanova
Yeah.
when you're saying this? Okay. And Matteo goes to start talking. You know, you see him kind of open his mouth. And then you see Giovanni Villanova. He just does this. He just holds up a finger in Matteo's direction. And you don't know how, but somehow Matteo sees it and closes his mouth right away and sits back. And Giovanni Villanova doesn't uncross his arms. His expression doesn't change. But what he says is, so then, what is it that you desire?
I look at the rest of my group here. I look over at Ace. I look at Andreas. I look at Nanette.
I mean, guys, we have a simple purpose. We were hired for a job. We've been in pursuit of that job. And I feel like there's been a grand misunderstanding. We just want the map.
Sure.
That's all Evero wanted, was the map. It sounds like you don't need it anymore because you know where the ship is.
We can just go our separate ways.
You've met Evero, right? He's kind of barmy. A little odd. He just wants the map. That your friend here stole.
Dubois has the decency to try to look sheepish, I guess, maybe, but not really. He's like,
mean-
oh, like I could care, but you know, like that's the attitude he has. Just oh,
I mean, we knew that it was stolen for a purpose. You've said as much. You're wanting the treasure on the Carnival and a book that you think was sealed in a watertight case hundreds of years ago. Best of luck.
Yeah, this is Matteo, by the way, who's like listening to you now, and Giovanni Villanova has actually sat back, and you can still talk to him if you want, like at him if you want.
I'm more just addressing the
Just being
room.
your friends. Okay.
Well,
the
and the
okay.
room, and just being like, so I mean, if we get the map, if you don't need us, and it doesn't sound like you do.
Giovanni Villanova puts his finger down, and goes back to where he had been before. And Matteo says, really? So knowing what this ship contains and that you are being offered a portion of that, you still only want the map.
Now
Is
you
that
said it.
what I'm hearing?
No, you're now making offers. You see, before you said a seat at the table to come back into the family. Now you're actually talking something. The ship, treasure.
Keep going. Well, did you not think a portion of the treasure would be included in that offer to join and help us get the treasure, aid us, ally with us?
As my purser has helped me truly understand it, if it's not part of the contract and the stated offer, then it's not on the table.
I see. Well, before any contract can be made, we do need to hash out exactly what will be on it. And so far, all I'm hearing is you request a map.
I was just listing my understanding of what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I have no authority to make contract or accord with anyone.
What
Well,
power
then.
can you offer?
Now we are getting somewhere. But first, let me just ask, would that map be something that you would want on the table and want back at some point?
I think that
And he's
is
like everybody. He's the Matteo is now looking at everybody.
absolutely. And as so far that we do try to have some honesty. I
Mm-hmm.
think you can judge whether we'd be willing to work with you based on how well we worked with those who hired us before, correct?
I guess a nod. Hmm. So, what we can offer in terms of power is quite simply the artifacts that are in there would obviously be available to you. Whatever those artifacts happen to be. You would also have access to these notes that we are after. Considering you're one of the family, they should be in our hands, in Vodachi hands.
What is silent death to you?
As we just informed you, you are a member of the Villanova family. You have Villanova blood in your veins. So does silent death. And he obviously expects this statement to make an impact as well. And they're not lying. At all, in case you're wondering, Andreas.
I figured you would
They
point
they
out
have
if they had.
not lied. Yeah, they have not lied so far. Um I mean, but all this is stuff you all knew pretty much anyway, so
Does he
um
hold title or purpose within the family?
interesting. Why do you ask?
Playing up that I'm just like him.
Yeah.
Well, two reasons. It is not my goal to be his subordinate or his equal, but to eclipse and surpass him.
I see. I see. Interesting. This has been a very fascinating conversation. Well,
Is he
in
of
what way are
title?
you? Not as of yet. No.
Is that something on the table with him for his actions on your behalf?
Depending on the outcome, yes. They could be for you as well. Although, not to put a finer point on it, and in the interest of transparent business relation, I can tell you that Silent Death, as far as we know, has really no interest in that. As he has stated, it is on the table, but he doesn't have an interest. He would much rather be on his ship.
Then how are you so certain of his loyalty?
Oh, we are Villanovas. We don't trust anybody, let alone ourselves.
Then I see several issues. If I may, looking at my friends. The main issue, we've not gotten along. Can we be certain we will? Second issue, if we are successful, and you have made offers like this to him, and he, let's say, has that glory, I will find myself subordinate to him, and I would not like that. I have a thought. Put us in competition. Why not have two groups going for the same thing?
And what you're saying is whoever wins gets the spoils. Is that what you're saying?
I would think so.
All right, so I'm gonna pause to do some game
Is
mastery
kicking me under
type
the
of
table.
bullshit. Okay, so first of all, the first course is gone. The thing,
Yes.
whatever, you've been brought another course. It's a very Avalonian type of meal, like with some like hash and eggs and things like that. But they also have like a nice salad to go with it to give the brunchy feel. So you kind of get that. All right. So on a meta level, so that I'm aware, I'm gonna go around and kind of get a feel for where everybody's at right now and what they might be trying to do and what their goals are to accomplish in this. I'm gonna save Johnny for last because he's actively talking. Nanette, what's going on with her? Is she doing anything? What is she thinking? What is she feeling about this whole thing?
She's mostly gauging what they're going to do. Because she thinks they're just trying to bring Gianni in because they don't think they can control Silent Death once he gets what he wants. So Gianni's the backup card. And that's what she's basically trying to feel out from everything they're saying, and she's mostly just playing along with whatever Gianni's saying as like the not so bright attaché. She's very much
Okay.
downplaying whatever strategery is going on in her head and just keeping an eye on everything else and just lightly snacking, mostly to.
And enjoying the taste of fine snack.
She's mostly hiding her pain by eating.
Awesome. All right, cool. What about Andreas? What's he doing, or thinking, or saying, or
Andreas, since he probably is not going to be able to get a read on Giovanni Villanova himself, he's been trying to get a read on Matteo since he's been talking the most. Again, pretty much doing the same thing as Annette, trying to find out their actual motivations for being here. What are the lines what are the things that are not saying?
All right, what about Ace?
This probably comes as no surprise to any. Ace is bored to tears. This is taking so long, and she just wants to get out. She didn't want to come here in the first place. And they've confirmed everything that we thought they were going to confirm. She's like, shit or get off the pot. What are we doing? Are we making an alliance, or are we getting the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she's just ready to be done. And so she's patiently waiting on the outside, but on the inside she is very impatiently waiting.
And what about Gianni? So what's his goal in this? Does he want to get them to agree? Is he pushing them to do something else? What's his goal with all of this? You know, I'm like you sort of stuff. What's his goal?
Weirdly enough, and it is completely topical. Well, I'll say as a character, Gianni wants the Villanovas to back off. He wants them to be like, this isn't the worst idea we've ever heard. And okay, two groups, both of them working for us. This one seems to be willing to further invest himself into the family. So I want them to be, be like, okay, let's do it. Right, we'll align. As Gianni is underhandedly at the same time being like, you're only useful to me as long as you're useful to me. But from the good guy perspective, it's very very Jack Sparrow first movie kind of, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going to have anybody who I know, at least Nanette and Andreas, are kind of gauging responses. And anybody else, if Ace or Gianni wants to do the same thing, we're going to be doing wits and notice. Or you can try to do wits and empathy if that's better, because you're trying to figure out how they're feeling. So you can either do notice or empathy. 3. Okay.
Just give me a second. Six with 1 left over.
Okay, wow, cool.
It's my role.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, it's hard to gauge Dubois and Giovanni Villanova himself. And while Dubois and Giovanni Villanova, are kind of, you're not quite sure. But you did when you walk in. So this is going to be something that any of you, because 3 was like the lowest one, and anybody who got other than that, had noticed, or somebody had last time, that Dubois was a bit nervous at some point.
He was during dinner when he was inviting us.
Right. So you're kind of getting the same vibe from that. So anyone who had a 3 or above gets that bit from Dubois. That's about it. That he's a little anxious, nervous, perhaps.
That's the
And
worst thing to be for
it's
nervous.
very subtle. It's kind of just in the way he's holding his wine glass and the way he's kind of looking around gives you that impression. And Giovanni Villanova, you can't really. So who got above 3? Okay. So yeah, so Andreas and Ace. You also notice that Matteo has that same kind of vibe.
They don't want to
Um,
get shot.
And you both get the sense, the two of you both get the sense that the way they're acting, just in little things that you see, you get the sense that they don't just want to offer to get you off their backs. You feel like there's something under what they're saying. You're not quite sure what that is, but there's some, like your activation, Andreas, is kind of like, yeah, that's the truth, but it's not like shining whole truth, right?
They're
Like
playing the
it's
same
not.
semantics game.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
they're saying is accurate, but it's bullshit.
It's like
Right.
he's talking to Annie Davis.
Right.
They aren't lying, but they aren't giving
Dave's
everything.
over there.
Oh yeah.
I like that the Davis breaks fourth wall all the fucking time. Like the Davis is just in our conversations.
Oh, hands down.
All the
It's like his favorite soap opera. Just 24/7 favorite soap opera going on around here. Okay. So that's what you all notice in this conversation. And you have the second course. That's interesting. Why don't we ponder this? You have told us some things. We have told you some things. Perhaps we can just sit in quiet companionship for this course. And then take this up in the next. Would that be agreeable?
Captain.
I have the prickle tickle.
Do I notice with that 6 that I got? Because I wasn't necessarily trying to gauge anybody's responses. I was more kind of keeping an eye on the room. Do I notice?
Well, I mean, that's part of noticing the room. I mean,
sure. I guess I was
yeah.
more. Does Ace notice the servers and the other people getting antsy at all?
They're not. I
Okay.
can't answer that question. They're not.
Okay.
They're standing there where they're supposed to be
Okay.
at this point.
Cool.
But they feel like ready. Like it's not like they're like putting their hands on their swords or anything like that. But they look like they're just like at attention.
Okay.
Like they're ready to do something if someone gives the signal or the word.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well,
And so now Matteo's looking around at you after his suggestion. After Gianni has made his, proposal of like, hey, let's just see who gets there first. Matteo said, interesting. Let's ponder this because we've told you some things and you've told us some things. So let's think about that while we enjoy this food. That's his offer at the moment.
I have not had. You said this was an Avalonian dish, right?
Yeah, it's more like an Avalonian breakfasty type thing going on.
What was
The first was that was very much Montaigne. The first course was very much a Montaigne fruit and the pastry. Yeah, I mean that was very much a kind of Montaigne. This is kind of more Avalonian. This course.
I have not had this dish, and I think some quiet contemplation wouldn't be terrible as we enjoy it.
You'll have to excuse me. I have a personal vendetta against the Avalon people, so I'm gonna with. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Or are we paying?
Understandable.
Are we paying for this?
Matteo says,
No, no.
Matteo says,
Figured we'd
would you
go
like
back.
me to have them bring you something else?
You know, I'm that first course was very heavy. I think I'll just let it settle. I'll come back for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I keep a very slim figure. If you
Matteo signals to one of the people on the side, and they come over and take your stuff. If you're not going to, and they make sure your glasses are filled.
It smells lovely. Please give my compliments to the chef. It's purely nationalism.
So, okay. So Andreas has said that. Are the three of you going to go along with that, or
Nanette fucking loves food. She's just going for it.
Yeah, Nanette's going down on them Innish sausages. I'll tell you.
She's gonna wait until everybody else starts eating, but she's definitely eyeing
then
the
they're
food
gone.
with a rapt attention,
Rashers of
trying not
bacon,
to cry about how delicious
Toast.
it smells.
baked beans and tomato sauce, fried tomatoes. That's what an
So is
English
everybody
breakfast is.
tucking in, or
Ace burps politely.
excuse me. Her little napkin. She's just like,
Yep. Oh, Ace is a picture. Ace is a picture of prim and proper in her fine
yeah. Okay.
jacket.
So I heard from Nanette and Andreas, and you're just kind of hanging out. What is Gianni eating, participating? You haven't said.
Gianni, even though he's putting on an incredible act, at the same time wants us to get out of there. I mean, we've now presented a deal. I don't think it get better. I don't think it get worse. But he's trying to figure out how to convey that to the rest of the table. So it's kind of like, kind of under the table, maybe with his hands gesture. But
Okay.
I'm sitting next to you, right?
I'm picturing it like Nanette here on the left.
Yes. Describe it for me.
And then
yes.
Andreas, and then Gianni, and then you.
Okay. If
That's how I picture it.
So
unless somebody else wants to
above the table, if Gianni makes a motion, and I see it, if I can see it, Ace is going to accidentally spill her water on her and Gianni and drop my napkin. And I'm going to lean down and I'm going to be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir." And I bend down and I will, as discreetly as possible, try to tug like the hem of his jacket to come down and help me pick up my napkin. What is that
Alrighty.
face?
that's also Gianni's face.
I'm sorry, it was cold water.
Method.
All right. So
Oh yeah, you're
okay.
a villain. So I am so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm so here. Excuse me. And I reach for my napkin and I start to clean you off and put my ear near your face.
Nanette looks offended.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm
almost
hitched.
I think this definitely requires some sort of perform or convince roll for Ace.
Can I please do a convince?
Yes. Do a wits. Well, be wits. I think it's to be more finesse and convince. You're trying to convince them that you have done this completely by accident.
Finesse.
Yeah. Because that's Dex. because you're trying to, like,
I
oh
rolled that. Yeah.
no, right?
No,
Okay,
I'm-
I know
I'm
I'm
here.
giving you a best roll.
You're
I know
giving
I
me
am.
you're giving me some. Thank you, GM. Thank you. And this was convince. Okay, so I can
Yeah, yeah.
re-roll one. Let's re-roll that boy. That's pretty good.
Because you're
Uh,
trying to be like, oh, oops, clumsy, oops, clumsy me.
Look
These
at
fancy
me.
glasses are so hard to hold with my
Oh
fingers.
my gosh,
My
They
fat
polished
fingers
them.
and my slim figure.
Montaigne must have suction cups on their fingers to hold such glasses. I always knew they were.
Those pastries were just so rich. They're
So
butter all
greasy.
over my
Yes,
fingers.
they're
Just
so greasy.
What'd you
4
get?
with 1 left over.
Excellent. Okay, so you do, Gianni. All of a sudden, you are soaked, and you have
so am I.
Ace. Trying to.
I nonchalantly reach for my knife, and I just push it away a little bit. Like, no, don't stab her.
Don't stop. We're good.
I do whisper when you get close enough, and I'll say it out loud because I probably can't whisper.
Just take a whisper.
Technically whispering. The longer we wait, the less likely Fate's powers will still be active.
I am so sorry. Oh my god, I'm so. Did I get any on you, Miss? Oh, did it get all the way down there? And I'm just cleaning things.
Good lord, that's funny. And
we just go
Nanette,
full
if you,
telenovela.
Yes, we do.
yeah, and Nanette, if you
Keep your
if
hands
you
off
did
his
not-
crotch.
Yeah, if you
hussy.
did not know, if you did not know that these were not servers, this proves it, because any server worth their salt would have been there in like 2 seconds
Yeah.
to like do all this, right? But they're just kind of standing over there like
I could make this.
nonchalant or
Oh,
whatever.
I could make this so much worse. Oh, I know what to do. Sorry. Those
Great,
are out of my-
first, awesome. I'm sure the other
Great.
players
No.
thrilled at
Andreas has been here before. Andreas and Nanette are technically more upper class.
Well, I mean-
Why are these servers not doing what they should be doing?
Gianni is now a Villanova, so I think he's pretty goddamn upper class.
Well, yeah, I meant more. We were raised in the upper class, so that we would both be kind of like, and Andreas would be like, "Do you have towels?" Yes, you along the wall. Those of you who brought us our food, towels for this. Help us clear.
I am so
And-
this one is soaked, and I kind of toss it out towards the server.
Oh God! I would have loved if you were like,
And
I
so-
throw it at him and then punch him while he's like,
No, I'm
trying
not
to
there.
deal
I'm
with
not
it.
there yet. But I
Aw.
like throw it over there, and like ice water just sprays Dubois and the Villanova the
Oh, no.
Villanova brothers, and it's just like I
You
am
gave
so
the-
sorry. I am so
You gave-
sorry.
Are you gonna just
Okay,
wet everyone's laps?
Yes, I mean that is what I do.
She just like takes out the whole table trying to clear
Somebody
up
turn
one
on
glass,
music.
and she's
This
like,
is
"Oh
turned
my
into a very
God,
Oh,
interesting
yeah.
game.
what's happening?"
Don't be
It's very
surprised
moist
if,
in here now.
if Ace goes on all fours to like clean up the floor. She's going to just stand up and bring the table with her and be
I love
like,
this
"Oh
plan.
shit! Oh God! Oh
Is-
God!
is that
I'm
what
big and clumsy. I'm from the marches. I don't know how to act in public.
Oh, perfect.
I keep a lean figure, but I don't know what I'm doing."
You broke Danny. Good job. You broke Danny.
I think this. Please do this.
No, you don't understand. I'm just picturing the three of them across from you, like covered in salad with like eggs in their.
Eggs and Inish sausages and beans and tomato sauce and all
There
of
was-
the things that make a full Monty breakfast what a full
Well-
Monty breakfast is.
In
Hold on.
Dubois'
We
defense,
earned
it's
an
not the
inhaler.
first time he's
Yes.
been. It's not the first time he's been covered in sausage and beans.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, Ace is I was like, does anyone have any more napkins? I've got to clean up on here. And she gets
Oh.
down on the ground and she's like, where the fuck are we supposed to go?
I'm sorry.
I hope
I'm
you're
so
happy.
sorry.
I need my inhaler.
Oh.
I need
Oh, I am so sorry. This was a relatively pleasant experience. It
Oh,
was
is this a napkin? And she grabs the tablecloth and starts to pull.
Oh,
just dump it.
This is
Andreas
Andreas
will just will be like, this was and then just grab and pull along.
I am so
Okay.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yes, we're creating a mess so that we can get the hell out.
So let's oh my god. Okay, so let's make sense of this chaos a little
Sure.
bit. At least
Sorry,
a little
guys.
bit.
Sorry, guys. I need to fidget and I couldn't mute.
No, it's perfect. This
Sorry,
is so
guys, I
perfect.
couldn't help it. I sit still long enough. I just start throwing
No.
tables. It's this thing. All right, so let's go back. Let's rewind the tape a little
Sure.
so I can picture this. Okay, so you're down there, with their napkins, and
Doing
stuff,
God
and-
knows
and-
what under the table. Yeah.
right? And yeah, it doesn't look good from above the table, but
It
anyway.
doesn't. And she just keeps peeking up over it like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
and then Gianni's just like he says what he says, and then Andreas starts yelling at the server, right?
Yes. All of them simultaneously.
Yeah, all of them. Like, what are you people doing? All right, now do you then like rise up and just like distress the
Okay.
table at that
This
point?
is for comedic value, but also because Ace is kind of interested. I would like to know if I can gauge the size of Dubois' appendage from under the table.
How is this
Visually.
relevant?
How is this
I'm-
relevant to anyone?
It's
the
info.
eyes.
It's
It's
info
the eyes.
gathering. I just
Do you
don't worry
really
about
want me to answer
No.
this question?
it. No, not really.
Because
It was comedic value.
I will make you a wits and notice roll. I will do it. Don't challenge me. I will do it. It's,
I'm joking.
I
I'm
mean, you can
joking.
ask.
No.
my God, you
So I'm
Wow.
guys. This is
Wow.
what happens when Roxanne doesn't get to talk for an
I
hour and a half.
apologize to the audience. This
This
is
is what
not in
happens
my
when-
notes. This
when
was
my-
not in my notes.
When
we
my
were gonna be on our
not
best
in
behavior,
there.
y'all.
I was on my best behavior, but then Gianni made a signal, so I'm trying to get us out of here.
This is amazing.
No,
my
I'm
God.
just going to
All
go
right.
under the table and like they're gonna feel me like grabbing at their like leaning on their feet as I'm cleaning up stuff and
Jesus.
maybe a little heavy on Dubois' feet. A little, I'm like, a good
Oh my God.
thump. Don't die. And but yeah, I'm gonna be cleaning, and then is this a napkin? And I start to pull the tablecloth on the side that they're on,
Okay.
so their food starts to kind of inch closer, and they're gonna have to stop it.
All right.
I'm spending a hero point during all this to turn my my Arcana into the pool.
The pool. What's that?
The fool.
Sorry.
Full. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
But I'm
Let's-
gonna make
let's try it.
sure before
Yeah, you can do
I
that.
activate that. Yeah.
All right. So let me determine what in order here. So Ace obviously has done her action. It's tablecloth. Okay. So I will say, you three are gonna go first. Well, we're all gonna. What's gonna happen is we'll all go through actions, right? You all state what you're gonna do. We'll roll. Whoever has the most raises will go first, and then how they spend however many, and then it kind of goes on from there. All right. So Ace did her action to start everything off. All right. After that happens, Ace, after you do this thing and it turns into a ballroom blitz, what are you gonna do after that? After you start yanking the tablecloth?
So do they stop the tablecloth before their food gets on them? Because I'm under the table, so I'm pulling it from like here. They cannot see me is my goal at the moment. So I just want to make sure that was.
They have not yet, but it's been like a second. So
Sure.
if she wants to wait to see what they're gonna do, you can totally do.
Honestly, Ace is is she knows that Nanette has brought weapons, and she's kind of hoping Nanette will like pass her one
Pass
under
one.
under the table. But if that doesn't happen, that's fine because Ace is clearly not going to say that. But she might like flick Nanette's foot,
Yeah.
like, "Hey, give me something."
Bitch,
Look.
pass me something. God damn it.
Shit's hit the fan. You're
Alright.
gonna get a gun at least one.
All right. So, Andreas, you're next. So, this tablecloth starts going.
To
And-
continue with Andreas's current actions, the fact that you've not said the servants have moved a second, assuming they're being stunned because they're like, well, the servants, I should say. Andreas is going to stand up affronted, and as he does, he's going to help push the table over as part of the same action.
Nice.
And he's
All
going to
right.
try to play it off as he's just trying to rise really violently.
Yeah,
It just happened.
Don't uncover me. but yeah, push it away.
Babe, your cover's blown.
All right, Nanette.
Oh, yeah, Nanette, once this whole thing starts happening, especially since we agreed to be on our best behavior, she's gonna go ahead and slip a gun, like, out from under her skirt and, like, nudge it over to Ace with her foot.
Mm-hmm.
Under the
Nice.
table.
All right,
While
Gianni.
looking absolutely distraught about what is happening right
This
now.
was not how I wanted Nanette to show me what was in her skirts, but apparently that will work.
That's what's happening. What about Gianni? What's your... Yeah.
What are you
Uh,
doing?
At this point, my goal is to motivate our team to leave
Mm-hmm.
and be the last person out so I can activate the fool and ensure I get away.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So go ahead. I'm going to say, let me see. What are they? Okay. Dubois, basically all three of them, they're standing up. I mean, they're like, so they're not trying to stop the tablecloth. They see it start to move, and they kind of just stand up. Like, they're like, oh, whoa, what's happening? You know? So they kind of stand up and step back from the table. That's going to be what's happening there. So, for actions, Ace. So they're not trying to stop you, and you wanted to get the gun from...
I would pick up the gun and I would immediately, like, pocket it. Like, I don't want it to be
Okay.
visible that I have it. I'm not
Alright.
gonna, like, pop out with, like... I'm just gonna, I'm
Right.
gonna be like, grab the gun, stow it in my jacket pocket.
Yeah, I don't think with the actions you guys have said, I'm not gonna make you roll, because I mean those sounds all like I'm gonna take the gun and pocket it, I'm gonna stand up and try to push
Right.
the table, I'm gonna pass her the gun, I'm gonna like get up and start moving out. So basically we can kind of consider this the initial, like, what's happening.
Mhm.
All right. So the next thing that happens is the servers start moving in closer. They are now coming towards the center of the room. And secondarily, the other thing that happens at the same time is you start to hear like a screaming that you all have heard before
Mhm.
from Nanette, because Dubois is now starting to cut a path. So,
Okay.
with that being said, we will go around again. So, with that being said, guards, Ace and the four of you, the server guards are now coming towards you, and Dubois is now attempting to open a portal. So, Ace, what are you gonna do? You have a gun pocketed at this
I
point.
have a
and
gun
you're still
pocketed.
under the
I'm going to crawl out from under the table and stand up and be like, I am so sorry, and I fully anticipate to be fairly close to a guard server
Mhm.
at this
Mhm.
point. But I also want to come out near where Dubois was.
Okay.
And I'm
So you're
going to
going
look
like Dubois and guard.
right,
Okay,
yeah, like
okay.
here, and I'm just gonna be like, don't worry, I got it. You don't have to help me. Leaving so soon, sir.
Okay. So you're just gonna
Yeah.
talk? You're just
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say
just
something?
standing there,
Okay.
yep.
All right. Andreas. So that's what you see. The guards are coming closer. You've pushed the table a bit and stood up, and now the server guards are coming closer. And you hear Dubois, cutting, start to cut a portal. You hear the sound of that starting to happen. And you hear Ace going, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you leaving so soon? You don't have to help me with this." You hear her saying that. What are you going to do at this point?
Andreas is going to continue to just. He technically, as I say, he didn't know, or he didn't portray that I know that you know thing. So he's just going to continue to act like their servants. It's like, well, it's too late. The service here is absolutely horrendous. I am going to tell my family. The reviews are going to get everywhere. We are leaving. Apparently, the meeting is over, and we are out. Have a nice day, and let's see if this. You know what? I cannot believe that in all the years we've been here, and been coming here, that it has ever been this horrible. I apologize, Nanette. It was supposed to be a fantastic breakfast. Your dress looks amazing.
She's still snarfing sausages, don't.
Ah,
No, as soon as the screaming starts, she's fucking terrified.
mhm.
Oh, shit.
So Andreas is still, talking, treating them like servers. Then,
Yes.
is that your move? Okay. Nanette. Yeah. So that's what's happening. You hear Andreas and Ace both being like, "Oh my god, this service is terrible. Sorry, you don't need to help me with this."
Ace is
And-
willing to, like, reach out and grab Dubois' hand, but not, like, roughly, but she's going to, like, put a hand on him to stop it.
Oh, okay. And Nanette, what are you doing? And you see the guards, the servers coming closer, and you Dubois turning to.
Yeah, as soon as the screaming starts, the air of confidence that she's been projecting slips a lot, and it's largely fear. And she is basically trying to get up from the table and move away from that source as much as possible, kind of hobbling a little bit.
All right. And Gianni.
Gianni wants to ensure his team gets away because he knows he can get away. So he jumps on the table. If it's on its side, he jumps on the top of it.
Okay.
It's not on its side.
But however, he's going to get on top of it and he's going to yell at Giovanni Villanova.
Mm-hmm. What's he gonna say?
Yelling. It looks like this is going to be coming to an end. If you want any hope of an alliance, you do not have but a second.
And I think that is a good point for a break, honestly, on that epic line.
Right before that
And,
intimidation roll.
Yeah, and then we will come back and find out how this all turns out. And a man in the back said, "Everyone attacking and turn into a ballroom blitz."
Perfect go.
Indeed.
All right, so
No,
see
no,
you in
man,
10,
don't go
everybody.
anywhere.
Yep, we'll see you guys. Hello.
Welcome
you-
back, everyone.
Are you still with us?
Yes, I hope you are still with us because that was quite the. Johnny has gotten up on the table and he has laid it down for an allyship. Saying if you're gonna do something, you better do it right now.
Yeah, and
Right?
making himself the center of attention doing that.
Oh, are you using like your fascinator, whatever it is?
No, but I think a guy yelling at their boss on top of a table, looking ready to spring, is going to get all their attention.
Right. Okay. So everyone has gone around. Now, okay. So before I go further and have people start making rolls and things, with Andreas and Ace, because I know Nanette's trying to like back up and leave, right? Is that what you're trying to
Oh
do?
yeah, she's trying to get the fuck out of anywhere
Yeah.
portal space.
Yeah, and Gianni is up on the table, and he's focused on Giovanni. Now, the two of you... Now, let me ask the three of you who are making statements or trying to do something. Is your intention that they fully believe you, or is your intent just to distract so you can do something else? Like, what's your intent with like going like, oh God, you don't have to help me, like da. Is your goal to like convince them, or is it just like so I can distract you a bit?
So my goal, and this may be too complex for one action, and if that's the case, that's totally fine.
I have a master's degree. Try me.
Oh.
Try me with your complexity.
No,
Try
so
me.
it's what I was going to say is, so Ace wants to fully look like she's telling the server, I got it, I'm sorry, I'm such a klutz. But when she looks at Dubois and says, and puts her hand on him and says, are you leaving so soon? I would like, if she can, she will lower her voice and say, I know you like open holes, but close it.
Okay, totally. You can absolutely do that, and I will have me make rolls in a second for that.
Okay.
All right. Andreas, so what about you? Are you legit expecting them to like be like, oh yeah, we're servers, or are you just trying to like distract a bit, throw them off kilter so you can do something
Andreas
else?
is attempting to distract and throw them off kilter. Very much so, as he is also like he's using this for what it's supposed to be, which is he is moving towards the door while simultaneously just acting like the absolutely outraged, spoiled brat that he is not.
Okay, excellent. All right, so we have Ace trying to stop Dubois. We have Nanette and Andreas kind of backing out. And Gianni, what's your intent here? Are you wanting him to believe you? Are you trying to just distract to get the guards on you? Are you attempting to do something else? Okay.
No, I mean, I want all eyes on me. Even if they try to attack me, I want my friends to be able to go for the door. Because I'm hoping that they're going to be like, crap, that guy's going to jump the boss.
Is Gianni expecting to get caught?
He's expecting them.
I mean,
to
I
try.
know you're a mechanic that you can get away, but I'm just saying he doesn't know that. But
yeah, he's expecting them to try.
Okay, he's expecting them to try to come after him. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Okay, so Ace, are you trying to? Let's go with rolls. What you're gonna roll? Are you trying to get him to stop via intimidating by your voice, or are you trying to physically like?
No, I will.
Point a gun at his dick. You know you want to.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not gonna get the gun out. Ace is not there yet. But she is going to. I mean, I guess either a convince or an intimidate. I will let you pick and not tell you which one's worse. But yeah, no, she's trying, but she's not going to try to physically necessarily restrain him. But I mean, when I say tightens on his arm, it's not like, oh, I'm grabbing it for all I'm worth. It's to emphasize.
It's like a stop. Yeah.
Yeah, to emphasize, shut the fucking hole.
All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna go. I mean, I'm just gonna go because I feel like Ace is an intimidate type of person, especially when it comes to Dubois.
Sure.
So I have a feeling like she wouldn't be like, "Oh, come on, Dubois, come on,
Oh,
Olivia, just shut
Olivia,
that hole
please,
for
please
me.
just shut the door and
Shut
stay
the hole,
with me.
shut the hole." Now,
Shut
I
the
don't
hole
think that's
and
Ace's style.
If you really want the hole, I can find one. No, that's not me.
Try mine on for size.
Yeah, right. Now, I feel like
Allah.
Ace is more like,
I have
shut
a
that
barrel
hole
filled with herring. if you
right
want it.
now. You know?
Okay. Yeah. No, this is more of an
So
intimidate.
intimidate then.
Okay.
Wits and intimidate.
Wits and intimidate.
Go for that, and you will be rolling against him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, I got lucky, guys.
Ooh.
I'm gonna not make any more innuendos because it's real easy. You're making it real easy for me.
It's real easy. I mean,
That's
when
what
you
the
get
boss.
lucky,
Okay.
you get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got 4
Okay.
with none left over.
All right. So, what ends up happening is, he doesn't start to close, but he stops. Like, you've managed to make him pause what he's doing, as far as your action goes. Okay. So right now, you know, he was doing that, you said that, and he kind of stops and turns to look at you. So you at least stop that for now. And stuff. All right, Andreas, and how are you trying to leave this room? Are you backing out? Are you like trying to take out people as you go? Are you trying to just turn and book it as fast as you can? What's your strategy for leaving this room?
I am making my way through, just insulting them and just doing everything my granddaughter would do in this situation. So like,
Okay.
just like, oh dear God, how dare you? You're putting your hands on me. That kind of
Yeah.
situation. Like, if they're trying to grab him, that's what he's trying to do. So it's totally a performance.
Okay. All right. So, and I assume like you're making your way to the door at the same
Yes,
time.
very much so.
All right. So I'm going to give you a choice here. You're going to need at least, okay, so this is going to be at least 2 different rounds to get fully to the door.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I'll give you an option. One is you can roll, whoop, oh, there goes my monitor. What the hell? Hope I didn't mess anything up. So this would be probably finesse and athletics, I would say, to like back up and get through and go towards the door. You'll need at least 4 to get to the door. However, if you're gonna continue up your charade,
Mhm.
you're gonna need 5 to at least not be grabbed at all this time.
Okay.
But if you want to drop that, then you only need 4. Then you'll need 4.
I will go for the 5.
Yeah. Okay, go for it then. The consequences, obviously, if you don't make it, you get grabbed.
Uh-huh. And 3 with 2 left over.
3 with 2 left over. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So you get grabbed.
Mhm.
By
The moment-
these guys.
Yep. The moment they do, Andreas's face completely drops the charade and goes, "Wrong move, boys."
All right, cool, excellent. Like good, the bad, and the ugly. Start.
Yep.
All right, and Nanette, it's going to be the same thing, except they're not as concentrated on you. So you'll need 3 at least to make some progress. 2 to get out the door. Like it'll be 2 rounds. This round and another one to get out the door. But if you make 4, you can still keep up a charade. If that's what Nanette's doing. If she's not, you'll need 3. Because at least the 3 on this side of the room are kind of focused on Andreas because they've assessed him as more of a threat. Whether that's correct or not, that's what they've done. So,
Well, Nanette is a cripple who is kind of borderline on the edge of terror at the moment.
mhm.
But she notices that the portal isn't opening any further, so she's mostly trying to get against a wall and give herself some sort of defensive position where she's not really like trying to do anything or fight any of these guys.
Okay.
She's just
So
kind of
3
like
then.
trying to get out of the way.
Yeah, so 3 then to get further in the room towards the door.
And is this evident, Nanette? Is this like if we looked at you, we could tell that this was a thing?
I mean, it's pretty obvious that
Okay.
Yeah.
she does.
Cool.
She doesn't really want to have another encounter with the place between anytime
No,
soon.
no, that's fine. I just didn't know like how obvious it was. I was trying to gauge it.
She did get 4 successes.
Mhm. Awesome.
She's just
Yeah, so you make it further into the room. You're like halfway to the door at this point. All right, Gianni. So you say that people are coming closer to you. Do you do anything? Like the guards are coming closer to you.
We'll leap past them with a flourish.
Okay.
Getting closer relatively to Villanova so I get more attention.
Okay. Cool. All right. So for that, probably in athletics check.
Yep.
Finesse and athletics.
Finesse or panache, because I did say with that flourish.
Oh, panache. Yeah, flourish. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, panache. Absolutely.
All that style, baby.
All right. And I get to reroll one die, right? Yeah. So that's 1 success, 2 successes, 3 successes, 4 successes, 5 successes.
What is your
Wow,
athletics
nice.
score?
Very good. Yeah. So
4.
Because you can do 15s for 2.
I could have, but it's all good. I think it's high enough.
Okay.
yeah, that's very good. So describe how he does this then, and where he lands.
Runs down the table, does a couple backflips, flourish in the air, land closer down towards Villanova, kind of crouched, still not armed, but closer to their boss.
Okay, cool. Alrighty then. So this is going on. What I am going to do now is because I kind of wanted to get that stuff because you did kind of catch him by surprise, so I want to give at least that impression, even though they're trying to come forward. So we're gonna do it how it's done in the book now, which means everybody's going to declare what they're doing, and I will tell you what roll you're going to make for that, and then everybody does it together, and the actions happen whoever has the most raises for their stuff, and I'll be doing that for them too, the guards and stuff. So there are 6 guards right now and 3 other people in the room, the 2 Villanovas and Dubois.
You said 6
So you
guards?
right now, so you have like 9 people in the room against your 4. Yeah,
I'm
so there's 6.
morally obligated to remind you that I have 2 dramatic wounds, and you get 2 dice for that.
Yeah.
Morals.
All right. So, you have managed to pause Dubois Ace. What's going to be your next action?
Still keeping a peripheral eye on the guard that is very close to me, and trying to, I want to at least notice if he starts to make a pull for a weapon. I am going to very frankly say to Dubois, if you care for her at all, shut the fucking door.
Ooh, okay. All right. So you're attempting another convince then?
Yes.
Okay.
Or intimidate,
Alright.
whichever one you want
Right.
me to do.
Well, I mean, that would again be, you know,
Yeah.
intimidate. So you'll be rolling a, uh, what's an intimidate when we roll?
Okay.
Andreas, so you've been grabbed. You have two kind of to the side. Two have kind of grabbed you here, and you have one in front of you.
Andreas will throw them off as he draws his blades, knocking the two of them away, kick the one in front. Again, not killing anyone, and doing his best to avoid creating any property damage because he doesn't want this to come back on his family. He will then spin around and go, "Can we leave?" Basically, and yes, he's basically striking them and striking to
Alright.
break himself out.
That sounds like a brawn and brawl. A brawn and athletics to me. Right? Because he's just using his arms and stuff. So that's what you're going to be rolling. And you are continuing on your way out the door, I assume, Nanette?
Yeah, but if the portal like stops opening,
Yeah, it's paused for now. You can still hear it, but it's not
It's on
getting
pause.
louder. Yeah.
well, being as she has a moral compass again, she's gonna turn to the obvious guards and tell them, if you value your lives, please, you need to leave.
Okay, so she's gonna try to...
She's like, whatever you want, I will give you money, twice whatever he's paying for, but you need to leave if you want to live.
Okay, so she's pulling a convince.
Yeah, she's worried that the portal's going to get the 12 bodies they're owed, one way or another.
One way or another.
You should be more concerned about your friend who's standing right next to the goddamn.
Yeah.
Ace made a choice.
She
And
did.
Ace, get the fuck away from him, please. Just.
All right, so you'll be doing a wince and convince, I guess.
Yeah.
On that. And Gianni, so you are now standing very close to Giovanni Villanova. And now, once you're up close, you can definitely see some of the resemblance to Silent Death, like the dark brown eyes and, facial structure, that sort of thing. You definitely see that resemblance now that you're closer. Just as a side note. So what are you going to do now? You have flipped over. You are now standing close to Villanova. You have... so you're on the other side of the table now. And I assume your back is to the back of the room, like facing opposite of where you were, is what I'm picturing, right?
Yes.
So you kind of flipped over, are now facing the other way. So right now you have Matteo, Villanova, and then Dubois is over here. But Ace is right there too, and she's got a hand on his arm. And there's a guard near her as well. The other two guards are coming in like from behind you. And there's 3 around Andreas right now. So Ace has one near her. There's 2 kind of over here. 3 are near Andreas. And Nanette is trying to talk to them too. Like Nanette and Andreas are both trying to be like, hey, So what are you going to do?
I imagine Johnny is just yelling at him that close, trying to get every guard to come over towards him, and he's maintaining, staring at Villanova right in the eye. And if a guard comes at him, just using his athletic ability to step around him, almost paying no attention, a lot of show of
All right.
all this.
So
means
that will
nothing to
be
me.
a panache and athletics for you to sidestep the 2 guards coming up
All right.
for you. All right. So everybody make a roll. Everybody make the rolls I told you.
Okay.
I would like to sweeten the pot on my convince roll by using some points
Okay.
of wealth. Because
All
I
right,
have a lot of
excellent.
that.
You do.
And we love you for it. You wealthy bitch.
1, 2.
I got mine.
Not mine. But she's got to roll for a lot of. She's got to roll for at least 4.
Yeah, 4. I'm rolling for 4.
Brute squad.
Jesus Christ. Good lord, where are these freaking guards? Freaking buy a mercenary or something? Because this is bullshit.
Perfect. I love those.
I don't know. Either they went. Hold on. That could have gone one or two ways. That was actually one of the
Mercs
most
or us.
neutral things I have ever seen Danny do.
I feel like the implication was they're all rent-a-cops and they're not very
Yeah.
good.
Incompetent. Incompetent is what I'm
Yes.
seeing here. Utterly incompetent. The other 3, not so much, but the little server guards things, yeah, they're not great. You get what you pay for, I guess. You know. Okay, so my highest is 4 for races. What's everybody else got?
3.
Damn,
I-
Nanette!
I'm rolling my weakest roll, so
All right. Okay. So you're talking at these 3 guards that are kind of on Andreas, and you're gonna spend. I'm gonna say you're gonna get convinced. You have 7, right? So you can spend your action points. Then I'd say you'll need 1 for each of the guards. So if you spend 3, you can probably convince them to at least stop and consider what you're saying. You can also spend the whole kit and caboodle if you want, but that means you won't really have anything to use later on. You could spend the whole kit and caboodle to just make them like turn tail. If you want to spend 7, or at
feel
least
like
6
I'm
of
gonna
them.
need something for defensive. But I think 3 initially to get them to consider. She is very well dressed. And everything to the T's. She clearly has money, and she
All right.
is very convinced that something horrible is going to happen to them if they stay here. She would rather
Excellent.
they go home to their families wealthy.
All right. So you have 4 left then. 4 actions left, and these 3 guards are like, and they turn to you. Who was next? Ace, I think. Right? Oh, you had 3? Okay. Who had Gianni's next then. All right. So, you are trying to elude 2 guards. I will let you spend 1 each to go ahead and evade both the guards. If you want to
All right.
spend more than that, I will let you spend 2 more to put yourself in whatever position you want to put yourself in. That will use up 4 of your raises. Although you can just get 2 to avoid to save some for later if you like.
2 and save.
2 and save. Okay. All right. Next, I believe, is Andreas at 4.
Yes.
All right. So these guards have now paused. They've stopped.
Have they released me?
So they've not released you, but they're paused. They're not like gripping onto you anymore. They've kind of paused. Like before, they were kind of gripping onto you, but now it's just kind of like they have their hand on you. So you can go ahead and use some of your raises. You can use 3 of your raises, 2 of your raises to get out of their grip. 1 for each.
That's reasonable.
And you can use another, and then you can use another one if you so wish to go ahead and do another action, like attack one of them or get a little bit further out of the room, or whichever you would like to do. But you don't have to spend that.
Andreas will free himself, spend the 2 raises, and then basically act like he's straightening his jacket and sash, which will put his hands near his hilts.
All right. Cool. All right. It is their turn. Okay. So, first is going to be Villanova. Giovanni Villanova. He goes. And I'm going to use... Let's see. He's staring at Gianni. Gianni's kind of... He is going to use one of his... well, no, two of his, because he would have to get past Ace and Gianni. So he's going to use two to go ahead and move closer to Dubois. That's what he's doing.
This is Giovanni.
So, yeah. And Matteo is going to do the same thing. Now here's the kicker part. Dubois. He's been given, if you care about it at all, you'll close the portal. Gosh. All right. So here's what happens. And how many, well, I'll let you use some if you want. But what he says is, he says, well, I do care. I appreciate my life a little bit more. And he's going to continue to try to, continue trying to cut this portal. And he's going to use two of his actions to make it even wider. Or longer, rather. All right, so now you have actions left. Who has how many now? How many do you have left? Hold them up. You have 4 left? 4 left, okay. So that means Nanette, go ahead. So they paused. You managed to stop them. You have 4 left. So what would you like to try to, what's going to be your strategy here?
She's just gonna start leaving, and I mean, she'll cast a look over her shoulder. It's like,
all right,
there's more to life than surviving, and then just starts walking away.
All right. So, okay. So here's what I'm gonna say. If you use 3 of your actions that are left, 3 of your raises, I will let you get all the way to the door. If you spend less than that, you'll get farther along, but not quite to the door. So that's going to be up to you.
She doesn't want to go all the way out because she doesn't want to leave her friends behind. She mostly just wants to clear a path and make sure that these guys are going to make the smart decision and accept being on her payroll.
Okay. So I'll say you can use 2 to do that. And then you'll have 2 left over. Okay, Gianni, you see the 2 Villanovas moving closer to the portal. That's what you see. What are you going to attempt to do? And you have 2 guards that you're still evading.
Yep, just for fun, it's just gonna be a simple soliloquy. Well, Father, I have already eclipsed and surpassed you because I do not live in another man's shadow.
Wow, right in the ego. Nice. Okay, yeah. So you're gonna use that, right? You're gonna say that? That's your move?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna say if you're gonna do that, you will need to spend 2 of yours to keep avoiding the 2 guards that are coming at you, but then you can say that if you like. Alright.
Got it.
Sweet. Alright. Cool. And actually, you do get the pleasure of seeing Villanova actually make some kind of expression on his face.
You are so good at being a Villanova, Gianni. You are so much better than your
You
father.
are my family!
You're a worthy successor.
You're my
You know-
family!
You know, Giovanni just glances at Matteo like, it's like
You're
your
not even
son
worth it.
has a kid.
Oh gosh. Okay, that was good. All right. So those 2. All right. And Ace and Andreas, how many did you have left?
I haven't
3?
used any yet. I was still at.
All right. Okay, cool. So you're at 3. So go ahead and he's trying to
Just
go
trying
through.
to make it
He's-
okay.
Yeah.
And so Giovanni is on the other side of Dubois from me.
Yeah, so it's like you here, and then Dubois here, and then you have the two Villanovas here moving closer to him, and then Gianni. And 2 guards past that.
I am going. Okay, let me ask you, because this was a
Oh,
convince
and you have a
roll.
guard kind of next to you, too. So.
Yeah, fuck that guy. So I have Ace is
That would
worried
certainly
less.
put him off his game for sure if you did that.
I mean, sorry, I'm not into you, big guy, but as a because this was a convince roll, so all I can do right now is an intimidate roll is add to my intimidation, and to do that, I am going to, if I can, pull the gun and put it in Dubois' stomach. And my goal here is, well, I will let this play out and see how this goes.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'm just going to say, you can use 2 of your actions to do that. One to pull out your gun, and one to shove it in his stomach.
Shooting it would require another roll, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
But you said you didn't want to do that. But you can use another action if you want to shoot. You have 3.
Well,
so you can use them all to do a shot.
This is what Ace is thinking. As foolish as it may be, she is hoping that if she tries to shoot Giovanni through Dubois, that maybe it'll hit him because I'm not threatening him directly.
Wow! See, you've been hanging around the net too long, trying to find frickin' loopholes and all this shit.
So she is putting the gun in a place, and she will say, "This was not meant for you." If she can shoot.
Sorry, nothing personal. Blam!
Yeah,
sorry.
She's put it in a soft spot where she's hoping it will pass through and not necessarily be obstructed by bone. So it's not like up in his arm or anything. It's in a soft, squishy bit.
So squishy bit.
We're
The
on the
important
liver.
bit.
Yeah,
On the right. No one knows what the liver
kidneys,
does.
right?
No one knows what the liver does. Just all the important bits are on the right. Everyone knows that.
It's that whole Blackbeard Steed bonnet. Just make sure it runs you through somewhere that's not important. You miss everything.
Yeah, just not important.
Ace has shot a lot of people. She has been cut open before, so I think she has a decent idea of maybe. I mean,
so are you going to use all 3 to pull?
Yes.
Put the gun in and shoot
if
them?
I can, yeah.
Your hand trying to throw. Okay. All right. And your gun does what damage?
I think guns just do dramatic wounds.
One dramatic wound.
One dramatic
wound. All right. So all of a sudden, Dubois is like you watch his face, and it's like you have it right in his stomach, and it shoots.
At least it's not your dick, my friend.
As he falls, next time it'll be something you'll miss, asshole. You're like, it'll be something you'll miss. Yeah, so he goes down. He's gonna get a dramatic wound from that. And it has the added benefit of he is no longer trying to do the portal because he's been freaking shot. All right.
It's just one friend.
Yeah. All right.
So does the portal close or does it stay open even though he's disengaged from it?
That's an interesting question. I think they have to concentrate on it. That's an interesting question because
I feel like he's not concentrating on it. I feel like he's concentrating on the hole in his stomach.
Right.
More than the
I'm just trying to decide if he does or if he opens it. But I think he would have to. I mean, everyone else kind of has to concentrate. So I feel like if his hand drops from it and he's not concentrating anymore.
Just slurp it up.
Yeah.
It starts healing itself rapidly.
All right. Okay, cool. So who has some left? Who has actions left then?
I technically still had
2. All right. Andreas, you have 2. What are you gonna do? Nanette has gone farther. They've paused. They're kind of, she's still catching their attention. The 3 that are kind of around you.
A gunshot just went off.
A gunshot did just go off.
Andreas pulls his blade and becomes a whirlwind of steel to knock out the 3 around him. That's half the brutes in the room.
Yep. All right, those three. Yeah. Now what is I forget, is that an ability you have?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So you're trying to convince them, Nanette. And then all of a sudden, Andreas, you can describe how you take them out. Like they're all kind of like looking at
So
Nanette
I
and you, and they're like, "What's going on?"
so Andreas basically, like, when he ripped his arms free, like, was straightening out his jacket and his sash, put his hands near his blades, hears the gunshot goes off, immediately draws, and as he does, spins around and just cracks them all rapidly with the butts of his with the pommels of his both mangosh and his blades right in the back of the head, knocking them to the ground.
Sweet.
Just
Cool.
knocking them out cold.
Sweet. Okay. And who has some left? 2, 2, 2. All right, 2, 2, 2. All right. Nanette. Yeah, you hear the gunshot. You see Andreas. These guys are now on the ground. Like, like, and all of that. You have 2 actions left. What are you going to attempt to do? What you see is, Dubois over there on the floor, Ace next to him. You see the Villanova's watching Gianni, and Gianni's looking like freaking Scarface over there, like, and then he's got 2 guards he's like avoiding over there, and meanwhile, you have Andreas and the 3 guards like closest to you. That's the situation you're in right now. And the door is only 1 raise, like, behind you. So, there's that.
Get out, Nanette.
No, you got first. And so Nanette is I mean, the portal is closing. It's probably safe for now. But she's gonna rush back into the room. It's like, Ace, what the fuck?
I'll tell
What
you
have you
about it
done?
later. I apologized.
So are you gonna move closer to her, or are you just shouting?
She's gonna move right back into the room if the
All right, so
guard.
one action to get over near where Ace is. Then use one of your actions to get over where Ace is.
This is fine.
Gianni, you have 2 left. What are you doing?
Well, I would like to jump on the back of one of the guys standing, and kind of ride him to the ground and kind of shove his face into the dirt.
Black
Okay.
move from the Avengers.
2 actions then to do that. Get on
Alright.
him and get him to the ground. He's a freaking
And
guard.
I'm staring
so-
at Giovanni.
It's one of the
entire time.
guards, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Cool. So now there's only 2. There's another one that was kind of near you and the one that was near Ace. So there's only like 2 guards now on the 3 of them. All right. So. All right. And so is everybody out now? Except for Nanette. You have 1, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Heal him, Nanette.
Okay. So what happens is this. Matteo is going to use his 2 actions to get over to Dubois and try to help him up. I mean, it's a risk, but he doesn't have much choice on that. Giovanni Villanova is actually going to pull out a weapon at this
There it
point
is.
himself. Because, just got shot. So he's using his one action to pull a weapon.
Did he get shot?
And I mean, it only went through Dubois.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Okay.
because, yeah.
It was
'cause,
an
I mean, if you
idea,
had-
okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, you stopped him from opening the portal. I mean, if you had more actions, I would have said you would have used one to do that.
Yeah.
But you only had enough to, get the gun out, put it in, and shoot. So he's drawing his weapon. Dubois is actually okay. So Ace, did you just let him drop, and now you have Nanette near you? So how are
I
you?
mean,
once he's gone?
Ace would have, honestly, Ace probably would have kind of grabbed his shirt and held him like a meat shield. and just kind
I
of pulled
see.
him close, and and then again said, like, this wasn't for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, he's gonna use 2 to get out of your grip. Then,
Okay.
being injured. He hasn't been able to move far, but he's been able to wiggle out of your grip, like clutching
Yeah, that's
himself,
fine.
like
That's fine.
get up and wiggle.
I let him go.
All right. So now what we have is Villanova with his weapon out, Mateo like going near Dubois, Dubois trying to get up and get out of Ace's grasp. Ace is near there. Nanette's trying to talk to Ace. Andreas has just taken out those 3 guards. That's what's happening right now. Okay, so now what? Let's declare our actions, and then we will go ahead and do this again. I will tell you what to roll, we'll all roll, and we'll go like in order. Okay, let's go with Ace. So he's trying to wiggle out your grasp. You have Nanette right here.
I'll let him go, and if Nanette actually did say, Ace, what the fuck, should we like, I was testing a theory.
This isn't what we do, Ace.
Since when? Davis over there, like, since when?
I didn't hit him anywhere important. You can fix it. Well, I don't know that. But yeah, so she's not going to shoot Villanova. If it didn't work, Ace is back to being afraid that she's gonna get shot with her own weapon. So I guess because it's not my gun, I probably can't shoot anyway. I probably have to reload. So
yeah, so you can choose to do that if you want and have that be your action.
I'm gonna reload. Ugh.
Or, I mean, you can try to move toward the door, or, I mean, there's lots of stuff you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably try to disengage, and maybe if she'll go, I would probably be like, go away, get out of here. This is just asking for trouble. What kind of weapon did Villanova pull out?
It is actually a sword.
Okay. I will try to get Nanette away.
Mm-hmm.
But if she doesn't go, I don't force her. But I do try to disengage and keep an eye on the guard.
Okay. All right. So your action is going to be to disengage. Are you going to try
disengage
to
and reload?
Anything like that? Okay.
Disengage and reload.
All right. Cool. So that will be in athletics and weapons, I guess, because you're trying
finesse
to deal with that.
Finesse and weaponry.
Yeah, sounds good to me. That'll be your role.
Okay.
All right. So then I guess we'll go next to Nanette. So, you're over there now. You see Dubois has been shot. And you see Ace there, and she says what she says. And what's Nanette going to do? What's your action going to be?
This isn't what we came here to do. She's basically trying to diffuse the situation as much as it can. But this isn't what we came here to do. This is... We don't want violence. Please just... We'll leave. Please get him tended to, and let's just not lose any more blood today. Please.
So
She's trying to get a voice of reason here.
Okay, so you're trying to convince Nanette. Ace. So Nanette's going to try to talk to Ace.
Ace and also the villains. Because once Andreas starts cutting people, it's gonna be bad for them.
Well, that's why he just popped him in the head with the pommel, I think.
Yeah, but just look, let's just all stand down and...
Okay, that sounds like a wits convince roll to me.
Yeah.
All right, Andreas. So you're over these guys now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see the Davis over there in the corner of the room, like looking at the 3.
Yeah. Andreas is going to. Andreas is basically going to. Prepare to defend anyone from Giovanni Villanova. So he is he basically his stance is that of almost a like contained energy, that the moment he sees Giovanni Villanova make a move towards any one of his group, he will be there to parry it.
Okay. So are you going to move closer then to that area? Or are you just
No.
going to stay where you are?
Because he can move faster than the eye can see if he needs to.
Okay.
So he's not moving an inch until Giovanni moves.
All right. Gianni, what is Gianni doing this time? You've seen Villanova pull out a weapon. You've seen Nanette and Ace talking. You see Dubois and Matteo there trying to deal with Dubois. What is Gianni going to do? You have one guard too, actually, on near you. So just keep that in mind.
As nonchalantly, with as much panache as possible, kind of sneers at them and begins walking towards the door, ready to dodge if anybody tries to jump him.
Okay. So you are, and this is interesting, intimidatingly walking out. Right.
Confidently.
Badassly. Confidently.
Yeah.
Like, again. All right,
Power
excellent. All right, cool.
There's
All
an
right, so
explosion happening
everybody
behind him.
should have your rolls. Go ahead and roll.
Hero point for Ambrosia.
Ambrosia.
You know, can I spend a hero point to joie de vivre in that impassioned plea to be the heroes that we are?
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that makes our anything...
enjoy your rolls.
Oh God.
What did that just do?
So
it makes anything less than our skill?
anything
equal
less
to
than
or
your
less
skill
than-
roll a 10.
Equal or under your skill roll is a 10.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
So if you rolled, if your skill is a 3 and you rolled a
Okay.
3, 2, or a 1, it is now a 10. Use
this
your
was
gifts
the
responsibly.
worst. This was the worst roll for Ace to get that skill on, but it's fine. She did better than last time a little bit.
These guards
I
are
rolled
like
a lot
worse
of
than
threes.
useless.
God have
See, this is
mercy.
what happens when you put Dubois in charge of
Count it
finding
right.
people.
Use your skills.
Oh, maybe it was all part of his clever plan.
Don't forget your 15.
Did
You
see
never
my face when you
know.
do that?
Right. Yeah, okay. All right, who got how many? Whew. Jeez. All right.
I rolled crap, and then she did that.
What did everybody get then?
I got 14.
Andreas?
I got 14.
You had how many?
I rolled crap, and then she did that.
Good Lord. Okay, so Andreas goes first. What do you want to do?
I'm
You pretty
holding.
much have. You're holding.
I'm holding for exactly what his action is to, when Giovanni Villanova goes for somebody with that blade, Andreas will be there to meet it.
Alrighty then. Who's next? Who had the next lowest? Because you guys beat all my guys, so. Gianni. Alright, alright, you're walking out. Okay.
Walking, gathering his friends.
I'm gonna say you'll need 4 to make it completely out of the room. If you like. Or at least to the door. I mean, you don't have to go through it, but you're at least would be like at the door. Okay?
Yeah.
And when you get to the door, you definitely hear noise going on the other side of it. Now that you're close to where the soundproofing is not.
Oh, but they
Leon
shouldn't have
kicking
heard-
ass.
They shouldn't have heard the gunshot, so that's good.
All right. What is who's next? So we did Andreas, we did Gianni. What are you? I think it's
only had 4, so I think I'm last
Nanette?
again.
6. Okay. All right. What's Nanette gonna do? You're there, and Gianni's at the door. Andreas looks like he's waiting.
Nanette's gonna put her hand on Ace's shoulder and just like try to encourage her to leave.
I was trying to get you out. So
Well,
go.
you can use your.
She
Okay,
goes.
you can. Okay, so you're gonna be compliant then, like if she falls. Okay. So if you all want to spend, let's see. I mean, 4 each. You can get to the door next to Gianni. If
I
you
don't
like.
know if Nanette's leaving or if she's just telling Ace to go.
Are you leaving?
She probably should leave, but she's gonna look. The mask of like no concern is definitely gonna slip when she sees the extent of Dubois' injuries.
It's one.
It's a gunshot wound. They hurt. Says Nanette, who's never been shot, but
Never fucking
Not as
been
much
shot.
as a broken heart, Sherry.
Ace,
Not as
Ace
much
and
as a broken
Andreas have
heart.
been shot so many times. You don't see us
God.
pussying around.
Ace is like, man,
Montana.
I got jacked with lightning. Like, what? Seriously?
I wasn't even. I even apologized, Nanette. You can ask him.
Sorry, Blamp.
I know it doesn't
Alright,
mean
sorry.
a lot.
it's
No, this is highly amusing to me. This is highly amusing.
I'm
to
glad.
Me. So, if you are you each going to spend 4 to get next to Gianni?
That's all of my raises, but I will do it because I'm not trying to fight.
Nanette's gonna go last. She's gonna encourage Ace to go. She mostly just does he need medical attention?
Mm.
Just
Well, you're not sure from that distance by the door, or wait, are you going to
No,
try to
like,
He
look
hasn't gone
yeah,
yet.
but
before you while you're walking?
yeah, before
Yeah,
she
he's- He's bitching enough that you think he's probably going to be okay.
I mean, she also knows that unless he lied about that, that he's putting on a show with that as well. But,
Yeah, he's
and still,
yeah.
bleeding is. No.
Yeah,
Just-
he's
I
definitely
missed all
putting
the
on a
important parts, but heal him if you need to. It's fine.
It's
Yeah.
just
But you see that Matteo is next to him, like helping him up and stuff. Okay,
take care of him.
so
and-
then,
They fucking.
so these guys are actually going to.
You.
All right. So what's going to happen is the other 3 they have 4 raises. So they're going to use their raises to kind of get together because 3 of you are by the door and Andreas is in front of y'all at this point because you've seen them, Andreas, go by you with your 14 whatever. Yeah, you're standing there like they've gone by you. They're near the door now. And you see the others now that they're kind of over on that side of the room. They're going to use their points to have Dubois open the portal and go through. The 3 of them. Oh, and the other 2 guards, you don't see them any.
So they open
I
a
mean,
new
they're-
portal.
Yeah, he got up and opened a portal.
Okay.
Yeah. He used his actions to get up and open a portal, and then everybody used their points to like go through it, and because they each had 4, and you guys aren't near that end of the room, so they didn't really have anybody inhibiting that. So that's what they're gonna do, rather than rushing at y'all or whatever. And there is, at that point, there's like 2 guards left. At that point, but they don't look like they're about to do anything because they just watch the people who hired him like bail the hell out and leave him there. So they're just kind of like standing where they were, looking at you guys. So you can take this opportunity now that you guys are kind of by the door and everything like that. What are you wanting to do? Yeah.
I would like to improvise. So I will burn an extra raise, as is required when I improvise, because now I'm using a separate skill.
Okay.
And I will say, are all of you that are in here working together? Or are you all independent contractors?
Okay. So if you want to use 2 of your many raises, I'll go ahead and let you so that they will answer because they
Yes,
don't really.
please.
Uh, they say, "Well, we were all hired." One of them's like, "We were all hired by Villanova." Well, Dubois for Villanova.
It would be to your advantage to walk out before us and inform everyone there that the person that's hired them has bailed and is no longer going to pay them. And they should probably all leave as well before the constables get here.
Okay, yeah. If you want to use, I mean, you have enough raises that I'll let you use like 3, 4 more to have them do that. You have plenty.
Happily.
So yeah. So yeah, they go out. And you guys are near the door, so when you open it up, you see like most of the place has like emptied by now, has been emptied out, except for like the people you kind of saw and noted. And the guys go out ahead, and they start saying, "Hey, the job's over. We'll have to go and figure something out. Just go and we'll go and demand to be paid and whatnot and stuff like that." So with all the raises and stuff you got, I'm gonna say that can happen. Like you watch these guys and they come out and you guys can walk out. You catch sight of some of the staff. Like just like what's going on? What the hell happened? And everything. But yeah, I mean Andreas has so many and he can just kind of intimidate and walk through like a king if he wants to and just be like, "Yep, we're out of here. Bye."
Oh, to the staff, as if we're allowed to, if we're just basically able to walk out, we'll go,
Yeah.
yes, he'll sheath his blades, which still, and then, and go, I do apologize that, Prince Giovanni decided that your establishment needed to be damaged in such a way. In fact, he shot someone and there's a lot of blood in there because of it. So, I would recommend
The
billing-
carpets! We imported them from Usura!
I would
Yeah,
recommend billing
remember.
I would recommend billing his company for all the damages. And I will burn
So
all
petty.
8 of my races on that convince.
Nice. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, totally. So you guys walk out, get in your carriage, I assume.
Oh, yeah.
That's there. And you can head back to the ship. And you have learned some things and you have some things to do. You've encountered Giovanni Villanova. And yeah, so when you get back to this, are you going to do anything before you get to the ship? Are you going to walk? Are you going to take the carriage? How are we moving things along once we're out of the restaurant?
Does Nanette look miffed? Or just upset?
She was a little upset, but
Okay. Ace is just going to say, we can talk about it later, but here's your gun back. And she will hand it to you, grip first. Not threatening at all. And she separates herself. I can explain, but I can do it later. I'm sorry.
you did what you felt was right, I suppose. This is no time to talk about it. Well,
Even people on this street are feeling awkward for some reason. It's like, wow, just a wave
I
of
assume this was
awkward swept down
this
the
was in the I assume this was in the carriage and Ace just looks out the window.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to say or do anything before you get back to the ship?
Before they get back to the ship, Andreas is going to look at Gianni and go, that book
Yeah.
is potentially the most dangerous thing I've ever heard of.
Could be.
And Gianni, do a wits and notice or scholar. No, do wits and sorte. Actually, yeah. You only need like 3 to do this.
I wonder if
Yeah,
it
1,
covers the things we have already learned.
3. 3.
in a way.
Excellent.
I can
didn't know
only
about the
imagine.
book.
So.
What you realize is this is probably at least part of the reason why sudden death can do the things he does.
Silent.
He probably found some info silent. See, sudden whatever. I'm just changing his freaking name.
I'm sorry.
At this point, sudden death, silent death, whatever.
We have to
Um,
change we have to change the cameo on his hat from
no, it's
the
fine.
to just
No.
like a timer, like flashing.
No,
zero.
it's fine. No, you realize this is probably maybe part of the reason that Silent Death can do the things that he does. He probably has found some information in regards to this. You probably also suspect that this Fate Witch, you can't be concerned, but these are just things in your mind, may have actually probably been Tempest themselves, more than likely. I mean,
Okay.
just from what they said, that would be what makes
Do we-
sense.
Okay, do we know the sex of the Tempest or the gender of the Tempest?
Male.
Or is it?
We
Is it?
do
Is,
know-
okay.
Male.
Okay.
Mhm.
I wasn't
Every
sure
time
if
you've
that was
heard it,
ever
it's been a
stated.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, every time you've heard it, it's been a man.
Ace is like, I wonder if it's really. That's just how this.
It passes down, like the
I know.
Force or something.
Could have been a
But
cool
yeah, so you
crossdresser.
suspect those two things thinking about it. That one, some of this information, not all of it, but is probably some of the reason that Silent Death can do the things that he does. And that probably that Fate Witch, instead of being separate from the Tempest, was actually the Tempest themselves, instead of having a Fate Witch on board. All right, so you get back to the ship. Anything? What do people do once they get back to the ship? Anything in particular? Talk to anybody in particular?
I immediately talk to Keg and find out what's the shortest amount of time we can get underway because, well, things are about to get bad.
Well, I mean, they walked. We assume that they walked probably. Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
I would assume
But
they
it,
walked back to the ship.
forever. Yeah. Keg goes, well, I mean, if we work, we might be able to hit the night tide. If everybody pitches in, maybe. We may have to do some, some of the minor repairs on the go if we want to do that. Do what we have to do to get out of here, but still repair things, as we go if we have to leave soon.
I think we do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna have to find a heading before we can do that.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to. And Ace will go down to the navigation station.
Cool.
And
All right, cool.
Conjunction
Cool,
junction.
cool, cool.
And look.
Conjunction junction. What's your function? Okay, so Andres does that, and I assume you're looking over those repairs and stuff then. Anything else?
No.
Ace, I'm coming to you last because I'm gonna wrap up with you. I have some stuff, so I'm gonna come to you last. So Andreas, is that all that you're gonna do? Then?
Yep, he's just going
For
to
now?
immediately begin helping out with repairs and helping get things done and whatever he can to help things
Mhm.
along.
Mm-hmm. Nanette, what's Nanette gonna do once back on the ship?
She's going to check on Gianni, which I understand might be rough with John's speaking voice, but it's like, are you alright? That was,
It went better than I expected it to. I believe that's my dad.
You did some really good convincing there. I will add that. You did some really, really good convincing there. Cool.
You were-
Continue. Anyway. Then.
it was brave what you did back there. Just want to make sure we're doing the right thing, pursuing this, and looking for whatever that is. I still think it was lost for a reason, and I'm worried what it could uncover, not just for Sorte.
Well, you know the theme in the book and all this.
Oh, I mean, assuming it is just a book.
I honestly don't think he was just shipwrecked or gave up or whatever. I think people banded together to destroy him. It's the only reason I can think of the ending that he had.
What you know about that ending is like there was a huge storm that sunk the ship. That's what you know. That's all you've heard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or
And
perhaps
considering you suspect he was the one that was doing the storms, you know, what could have happened there, you're not quite sure.
perhaps he dug too deep, as some might say, and found.
There are no records of male sorte witches, including him. I think this was the grand design of a cover-up.
If you need anything, you just let me know. And I didn't get the chance to say this before, but thank you for what you did.
Mhm.
You didn't pressure me to make a decision one way or another. You just listened to me. And I appreciate that. Even though I wonder if it was for the best.
I don't know.
Guess we'll find out together.
Just know I'm here. I can't imagine what you're going through. I won't try to insult you by imagining. Just know I'm here.
I could go for a drink. What do you say? I have a bottle of the 78.
Yes, please.
And I can taste it now. All right, cool. So if you three, or you three, because I'm gonna end with Ace. So if you three have anything else you want to do, this would be your opportunity before we end. All right, excellent. Ace, so you go down to the navigation.
And
area.
I will stop very briefly if Nanette is off talking to Gianni. She's going to dip into the infirmary, take her gun back, and go navigation.
Okay, so you're gonna stop.
The marked gun. I'm going to take it from the infirmary where she left it.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Since it was such a thing, she's going to take it and be like,
Since it
wasn't
became
forever.
a whole drama.
I just didn't want to fucking leave it. I didn't want to lose it in a fucking gun battle.
All
right.
your gun's gone. Oh.
No! That'd be funny just to see how long it takes Nanette to tell her. Because she doesn't know Ace took it back. That'd be funny. For me, not for anybody else.
No.
That'd be
No,
funny.
I think it would be funny because she would assume that the boys took it.
Yeah. Or Pip and Squeak, just like anything
yeah.
disappears. It's like Pip and Squeak! You know, grabbed by the air. No, we didn't, we swear.
No, yes, but yes,
All
I
right.
go to the navigation station.
All right, you get down there, and just about right when you step into the room, you start to feel, the marks start to go warm.
Okay.
Guys trying to make contact with you.
Okay. I sit down. Ooh, this is a bad idea, but I sit down at the navigator's desk, and I let his eyes become mine own.
Okay, what you see is a piece of paper in front of you, and it has coordinates on it. And you can hear people shouting and rigging going. Like, it sounds like people are getting ready to move. Like, it sounds like that. And you see some directions in front of you.
Okay.
All right. I would like you to spend 1 hero point, please, at this point, to retain this information. The coordinates that you're seeing.
I have just one, chat. I have just 1 hero point.
Yeah. Spend that. You do that. And as soon as you see that, you take notes of the coordinates. Gone. It's different than if he had just like dropped it. It's almost like it was set. It's kind of painful. Like, it makes you grab your arm. Something happened. You're not sure what.
Oh shit.
And we will end there for the evening. So we hope you come back next week. We have 3 more episodes left. We will be chasing to our finale location, and then we will have all of this wrapped, and we will go ahead and take care of that. So please come back. Do we have any announcements or anything before we go?
Tomorrow night, I'll do announcements, John, since you're losing your voice. Tomorrow night, we are starting a mini series with Revna as the GM of Alien from Free League, and
Hey!
and then John will be in that show, Sean will be in that show, and our friends Ted and Aaron will be in that show. And then on Thursday night, should John's voice recover in a suitable way, he will it will be the premiere of Dragon Age Masks and Daggers, an Orlesian campaign that he's been sitting on for a little bit and he's been really excited about. So if you all could please come back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for Alien, Thursday night at 7 p.m. for Dragon Age, that would be awesome. And then on Saturday, we have Seriously Let's Play, The Kid's Guide to Monster Hunting with GM Crystal Mazer. So that will be
Crystal.
that will be on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So please come back and join us for that. And we thank you all for joining us tonight. We saw some returning faces in chat tonight, and it was really good to see everybody. So we love y'all.
We'll see you next.
Go ahead.
Until then, I have to say it. Fair winds and following seas until next week. Bye.
Bye.